beautiful people. My name is Artemxs, and if it were up to me, I would adopt you all. So today we are doing things a little differently. This is not my normal day of the week. This is not the patterned topic of discussion, okay? But I really wanted to tap into what's gonna happen before the year ends. I also promised myself I would make 4 videos in October, so here we are getting our to-do list done, okay? I've been exhausted lately. I'm blaming it on the seasons changing and the eclipse energy. I don't know, but I hope you guys are well rested and hydrated. So of course there's going to be 4 piles today because I refuse to do anything less. Here's a clip of the piles. Feel free to pause the video, meditate, figure out which one is really calling you. If the message does not fit, it ain't shit. It was not meant for you. Take the parts that resonate, leave the rest behind. Otherwise, let's dive right in. Hello, pile 1. How are you, my little daisy daffodil doodle? Okay, today we were tapping into what's going to happen to you before year's end. So let's jump right in. Pile 1, my little daisy doodles. What is going to happen to them before the year is over? Before year's end, what is going down with pile 1? Okay, we're having a transformation, number 16. I was born on the 16th. Maybe you're a weirdo. You're at WRDOHVN. You're definitely a weirdo. But when it comes to transformation, it's giving me the energy because it says transformation, knowledge, magic. So I feel as though you're really transforming in the sense where you're letting your weirdo light shine. You kind of have the knowledge and you understand that your difference is your magic, okay? Your magic. And you're just like, it says, babes support other babes. So I feel like you're supporting yourself and you're seeing the like, grandiose is what came to mind. We'll put the definition in because who knows what I'm talking about. But like even with this picture, okay? She's like, has a smile on her face as she mixes her ingredients. So I feel like before, I'm getting the image of like a mom or a grandma that's like, watch the stove for me, okay? Stir it when it needs to be stirred. And you're like, I'm not a chef. I don't know when it needs to be stirred. And you're feeling very like scared to take charge in the kitchen. But now you're in a position where you're like adding seasonings and salts and you're mixing it up and you're just excited to see what will come out of it. Like before you were kind of like, I don't have a recipe. What do you want me to do? What's expected here? And now you're like, I'm the chef. The meal's gonna be whatever I decide it to be, whatever ingredients I decide to add. So you're kind of like transforming in a level of confidence, I guess you could say. But let's see what else pops out. We have number 34, which also comes to 7 because 16, 6 and 1 is 7, 34, 3 and 4 is 7. 7 for me is all about spiritual dalliances. Like spirit has their hand in the pot. So like this is you on one hand stirring it, but this is spirit on the other hand kind of guiding your hand as you choose certain things. Okay, that's a hole in the wall because this right here on my screen, it looks like a dirt smudge, but it wasn't. Okay, so we have standing stone, ancestors, gateways, sacred. This goes back to that energy of seeing your grandma, like she was the one who left you in the kitchen because your ancestors are the one that left you with these materials and with this talents and skills, I guess you could say. Like granted, they didn't give you the gift of singing or this or the third, but they might have put you in the church. You might have grown up in the church choir, so that helped develop your gift. You know what I mean? So I feel like you're starting to see your talents, your gifts, your abilities, your weird as something sacred, as a gateway towards a portal. Like you don't know what doors can open if you choose to honor and hone and activate the gifts that are within us. Or like me, I come from a lineage of teachers. So to educate others or to put knowledge out there, that's something that's like a gift I have. And it could seem so regular to you. Even being in the kitchen, it could seem so regular. You're like, I've been cooking since I was 3. Like some people only know how to make Pop-Tarts. Like that's a gift, okay? If you make a meal and your friends are like, oh, this bussin', that's a gift, all right? Talking about gifts that just fell out. And number 7 again, okay? It says the gift, communication gift crystals. So yeah, it's like you're handing someone a meal, like, hey, I made this for you, I baked you this pie. That's the energy that's coming. It says communication gift crystal. So for some of you, again, with your weirdo energy, I feel like you're finally seeing your gift as something you should honor, or maybe you come from generations of witches, or you know, something of the sort, but you're finally trying to communicate your gift, or you're trying to put your talent out there, and you're seeing the value and your worthiness and what you have to offer, like what you can bring to the table. So if you thought because the year's over, you're like, oh, 2 months to the year's over, like nothing's gonna change, nothing's gonna happen, life's stagnant, this is just what can even be possible in 60 days, like so much is possible. There's so much transformation that's still gonna happen because you're gonna get this boost of confidence to like put yourself out there. But let's keep going and see what else appears. Let me get my little cheat sheet. And we have 11:44 on the clock. Because you know I have a layout of what I'm gonna talk about. Also, comment down below and let me know if you guys like the pictures on the side when I put them there, or if it's distracting. Okay. Because then that helps me know if I'll keep it there or not. So we basically have 777. Oh, because I said 11:44, so I was doing the math and seeing if that equaled 7, but it equals 10, which comes down to 1, and 1 is all about new beginnings. So you're getting out of that off to the sidelines, what do I even have to offer energy, and you're coming out like, bam, I'm a weirdo, hell yeah, look what I'm capable of. Bet you ain't never seen nothing like this before. Okay. Before the end of the year, pile 1. We have time and tide. It says oceanic spells and rituals, number 18. I have to sneeze. Okay. 18. 8 plus 1 is 9. 9s is all about endings or about completion. So for me, I'm getting the energy that you are starting a new ritual, having a new pattern, where it's like, oh, when I want to do something, I'm gonna just go after it and I'm gonna just get it done, instead of like contemplating on it and letting it dwell and giving myself enough time to have my anxieties rise or think of a bad scenario. I'm gonna just 1, 2, 3 act on it, like just get it done. And she's drawing a heart in the sand. So it's like you're having a new ritual that's coming from a place of love. Like you had the time where you sat on the sidelines. You had the time where you were the observer. And now you are taking more action through a sense of love. So it's not like, should I go on stage? Should I sing? What will people think of me? It's more like, let me go on stage. Let me do something I love. Let me feel good in these moments. Like before I started recording this, I was so tired. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm making myself record. Like, even though this is something I love to do, I just was kind of like, I don't even have the energy. The message isn't going to come out right because I'm not in the right frame of mind. But once I started doing it, it just like activated my love for it. And it was like, oh wait, I love doing this. This fuels me. This fires me up. This makes me feel good. And now I'm in a whole different vibe and a whole different energy than I was but a moment ago. So some of you, I even getting the energy like you don't want to participate in certain activities if you're not in the right energy or if you're not in the right state of mind. And you're like, I feel like I'm wasting the opportunity. But it's kind of like once you put yourself in the opportunity, once you put yourself in the position, that's when the state of mind changes, because that's when you're doing the activity you love to do. Like some of you are like, oh, I don't want to pick up my guitar because I'm in a shitty mood, or I don't want to write a song right now because I'm not in the best energy. But once you get past those little 2-3 minutes of feeling like frumpy and about it, the energy of doing what you enjoy doing will flow into you and it'll change your mindset. It's like once you strum a couple chords, then the reverberation and the sound of the guitar fills something within you and your mood changes. Like doing the thing you love is what changes your mood. Or even some of you want to exercise, but you're like, I don't feel like it. But once you put on the video and you get, you know, the lame moves out the way, you know, once you half-ass it, you start building the momentum and the energy to do it for real, because it's pouring energy into you to refuel and revitalize you to get the thing done. Also, when it comes to songwriting, like maybe you're like, I'm not in the best mindset, or you're trying to write a book. Like, let the first few pages, the first few keys, the first few notes be shitty. Like, it's fine. Those are just what's needed to get that gunky energy out the way before the better energy flows into place. Like, and you could write a sad song. There's, like, everything doesn't have to be in the utmost, hypest, happiest energy. Like, there is still creativity and there's still art that can be formed from the lesser emotions or the emotions you don't think that highly of. But you're starting a new ritual, a new pattern where you're just kind of like gonna go for it instead of dwelling on the idea of it. And then we have Adrift, number 27, which again is number 9. 2 and 7 is 9. So we have 7s and we have 9s. It says letting go, allowing a higher force to take charge for a time. Exactly. Letting go of your anxiety, letting go of your doubts, letting go of the emotions you think you feel, and letting a higher force take time. The higher force is that thing that comes in and revitalizes you and refuels you to be able to want to continue your craft, your gift, your magic. It's even giving me the energy, like, say you're like, oh, I really want to doodle, but I'm not in the mood and I'm kind of tired. But then you open your laptop, because I use my iPad and have a little pencil, or you take the sheet of paper out, and at first you're just like scribbling and you're like, oh, I don't even want to be here. But then you're like, wait, this scribble looks like it'd be the top of a hair, and let me just draw this eye right here. And then it becomes something you didn't even imagine, because you let go of the stencil, you let go of what you wanted it to be, and you just allow the emotions to create whatever is trying to come out of you. Yes. Or maybe I shouldn't post the photos in this one, and then you guys can tell me if you miss having the photos around. But just in case, let me take the picture. All right. What's next? Before the end of the year. Before the end of the year, pile 1, what is going down? Down in the DMs. We have Earth, number 16, which we already had 16 with Saradwin in that transformation, that pop picture. Earth. So I feel like you're feeling more grounded in who you are, again, and what you can offer and what you could bring to the table and how you can create. It's really giving me Page of Wands energy. Like you have a million other ideas and you're just going to let the inspiration take you where you need to travel to instead of trying to set a course and have a specific destination. Maybe that's something you normally do. Maybe you normally have a routine, and your routine is like, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna get the paper, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna think about what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna plan, I'm gonna, activate the certain energy, and you are like kind of forcing it, but instead you're gonna let it flow, and you're gonna have a ritual instead where it's like, I wake up and I scribble on paper, or I feel thankful for the day. Like, it's more like a routine is I wake up, I brush my teeth, I clean my face, I fix my room, I eat breakfast. But a ritual is more like I wake up, I feel the sun on my face, I do something that makes me feel happy, I do something that makes me feel excited, I let myself sit here and ponder my thoughts about how I would like the day to go. I sit here and imagine my most ideal life. Like, I can't really explain it, but like I sit out and listen to the birds chirp, but you're not like making yourself do anything. If while you're sitting listening to the birds chirp, you have an idea and you write it down and you come back to it later, like, you just let things naturally flow. But I feel like you're not really forcing things anymore. And in this picture, she's pregnant. So some of you could be, because we do have the gift here, we have sacred, and we have transformation. Maybe some of your bodies are transforming and you're going to be pregnant before the end of the year. Or maybe you are pregnant and you're looking at pregnancy in a different mindset where it's not like, I have to eat, I have to take my prenatals, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to go to this class. It's more like, I want my baby to feel good, so I'm going to do this or do that, or I don't really know. But that's just for a small group of you. I'm not saying you guys are going to get pregnant. I'm not wishing that on nobody, because I would not want nobody to wish that on me. We have devotion. yeah, being devoted to the love of the craft versus forcing yourself to, and like, instead of forcing yourself to create, because we have these prayer hands right here, so it's kind of giving me the energy of like, thank you for being able to fuel my body with this meal. Thank you for being able, like, for having the legs to run. Thank you for allowing me the space to create instead of whatever restrictions you normally place on yourself. And that's number 41, which comes to 5. 5s are all about transformation, transition, changing. So I feel like the way you look at yourself, the way you operate is changing before the end of the year. And then we have forgiveness, which is 7, again with these 7s coming out. So we have 7, 5, 7 on the table right now. Forgiveness. I feel like you're forgiving yourself for being so hard on yourself. I have a card and it's like, I forgive myself for being so hard on myself. I am more than enough. So I feel like you trying to force yourself to operate in a certain way. Maybe some of you have ADHD and you see the stencils that work for other people and you're like, I'm forcing myself to create at 3 o'clock every day and do this to really show my devotion to my craft. I have to work on it every day for 15 minutes a day. Or I have to read every day to prove that I want to get smarter. Like there's some type of restriction you hold yourself in, or like this. What am I seeing right now? I'm seeing like a bubble and you like place yourself in this bubble. Or I'm honestly seeing a prism, like, you know, a clear prism they might have had in school before. And when you put it in the light at the certain angle, you can see the rainbow reflect off of it. So I feel like you put yourself in this prism and you're trying to like hone your light to a certain degree. But when you're in the prism, you only see your surroundings. You don't see your light. But when you take a step back and you position yourself in the light in just the right way is when you can really see the colors reflect. So I feel like you're forgiving yourself for putting these restrictions on you that kind of dimmed your light when you thought it was going to enhance it. And instead you are reworking things in a way where you can see your light and see your magic and really get the result you're looking for. It's also giving me the energy of like, say you want to be a content creator and you're in your head and you're like, content, I need content. I don't have any ideas. And when you sit down and you force yourself to be in front of your computer, that's when your mind is blank. But when you look at it in a different way and you're like, oh, content is just creativity that I put out there. So all I'm doing is having to create. So I just have to give myself the time to create without restrictions, without specifications, just seeing what flows out of me. And that is my art. That is my art, is my expression. Like you're just more grounded in what things are. Because again, we had the knowledge card. So it's like your knowledge has changed about how you operate. Or maybe you didn't know you had ADHD and now you do. And you're like, well, let me find the tips and tricks that work for me. Because I've noticed that after I go out in the sun, then I'm warm, then I'm motivated to do all of these things. Or after I shower, like, you know, normally people work out and then they shower. But you, after you get out the shower, you're in the mood to work out. So it's kind of like, let it be backwards. Let it be whatever way works best for you. And if you're taking 2 showers in a day, so be it. Who cares? Like, okay. Oh, okay. I'm supposed to do tarot now. But I don't want to yet. So I got this new deck. It's called the Prism Oracle. Okay, here's the box. I never show you guys decks and cards and stuff, but it's so pretty. And it has all these pretty colors on the inside. So anyway, for Bio 1, before the end of the year, we have trust. Yes, you're trusting more in your gifts and your abilities. And and you're trusting more that they'll be received in a positive light. Because maybe before, again, you dwell on a situation, your anxiety starts to boil, and you're like, people are going to reject me, nobody's going to understand, nobody's going to accept me. But you kind of are trusting your intuition. Because again, remember, it's not just you stirring the pot, it's intuition telling you, like, maybe this garlic salt will taste good with this oregano or whatever. And you're trusting your intuition, you're trusting the messages, you're trusting your gifts, you're trusting your abilities. And again, with this heart in the middle, because again, we're doing things out of a place from love now. You're trusting that the emotions you feel, which is that love, that goodness, the way you fills it up, outweighs any rejection or any disobedience from your normal routine or anything that may get in the way or may distract you from what could grow. Yes, because you have ideation. It's you following those ideas, that creativity. Because again, that goes back to that Page of Wands energy, where you're having a million ideas, and instead of, which goes back to that ADHD energy. Instead of trying to force yourself into a mold or into that prism of what you think will work for you, instead you're going with the flow of finding what works for you. We have anger, which brings you back to that ADHD energy, where it's kind of like you are kind of angry that what works for other people doesn't work for you, because what works for other people, that information is so open, so out there. But to have certain tips and tricks that work for an ADHD mind or a neurodivergent mind or weird, okay, that information isn't so readily available. So I feel like it angers you a lot, where you're like, oh, I started mopping and now I'm sweeping and now I'm washing dishes, but I didn't finish mopping, but eventually I'll get back to it. But you know, there's a lot of unfinished tasks, I feel like, with you, because you have so many ideas you want to pursue. So you're like a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there. And it kind of angers you that you can't operate in the way other people do. But learning that your magic is in the ability to see so many point of views, to see so many outcomes and outlooks. You're feeling more grounded in your own magic and what you're capable of. So I feel like this goes back to knowledge, the knowledge of magic. I feel like your third eye is opening, which goes back to intuition and trusting what works for you. So that anger is starting to dissipate a little as you forgive yourself for the past, or forgive yourself for how you try to force yourself to operate. Because you're letting a higher force take charge, that intuition. We have fear. Yeah, I feel like you're even angry because fear kept you distant from the things you actually wanted to pursue for so long. And we have surrender, which goes back to the adrift energy of letting go, letting a higher force take charge for a time. So you're kind of surrendering to, again, just the way you operate. Like, okay, say your anxiety is there. Instead of getting angry that the anxiety exists, you're kind of letting yourself have the moment where you're like, okay, the worst thing that can happen is everyone laughs at me and I get booed off the stage, and then nothing, because who are even these people in this bar that I'm never going to see again? At the end of the day, if I go on stage, I'm going to feel, one, so proud of myself for putting myself out there. Two, so amazing for doing the thing I love, because I love to sing and it makes me feel happy and well and swell and good. And three, I'm able to cross this off my bucket list, or like whatever excitement, whatever joy, that you're being called to. You're trusting that in situations when you get certain ideas, you are supposed to be there in that moment for some reason, and you're just going for it. It even gives me back to that communication card we have with the gift. I feel like some of you have the gift of spirituality, or is spirituality a gift? It is a gift. It's a gift close to the heart, but kind of like your magic. Say you get a download and something, spirit, the universe is telling you, like, go talk to that person, go tell them this. And in the past you might have feared that, what if I tell them this and they think I'm crazy, or whatever the case may be. But now you're kind of like trusting that when you get these messages, it's for a reason, and you want to act on that, and you want to help the people in the way that you can, or you want to spread your knowledge or your magic or something of the sort. And I haven't been taking pictures, have I? Okay. I'm still not picking up tarot just yet, but I will. Pile 1, what is going to happen to them before the end of the year? And with trust card, okay, it's giving me the energy that it's like trust that in that moment, yes, you're supposed to be there. You're supposed to follow the call for whatever reason, but it's also giving me the energy of like, trust that someone is meant to see you in your light. Like, you being a weirdo out loud is inspiring other people that you have no idea of. So like how you felt as a kid, or not even as a kid, how you felt a couple months ago, where you felt like you couldn't really put yourself out there and be like, hey world, this is me, here I am. Imagine a little weirdo just like you who's off to the side, and they're wishing they had the courage to be as forthcoming or to live life out loud like other people do. And maybe seeing you as that fuel and that inspiration they needed, like, hey, there's somebody out there that looks like me. Imagine like all the little black girls out there that finally saw a black Little Mermaid, or all those freaking Asian people out there that finally saw Turning Red, and it's like, oh, look at something demonstrated, something that looks like me out there. And that's giving me the courage, the fuel, the love that I needed to believe that I'm not invisible, to believe that I deserve to be seen. So even if you're in the crowd, or you're looking at these faces and you're like, everyone's gonna reject me, I'm gonna have like a hard time, people are gonna laugh at me, imagine the crowd instead. Envision that there's somebody out there that's like you, somebody out there that's lonely, that's weird, that's isolated, and that wants what you want. And let that fuel you to do the thing you want to do. So like, instead of imagining that everyone's rooting for your downfall, imagine that there's one little kid in the crowd, or there's one 60-year-old lady in the crowd, or there's one person out there in the crowd that is a weirdo just like you, and they're wishing they saw more representation of them. Like, your weird doesn't have to look like my weird, but I'm always rooting for the weirdo, okay? The weirdo could look like the kid that has 10 million facial piercings and is wearing all black and looks super goth. We've all seen somebody that looks like that walking down the street or in high school. I'm never like, what the fuck is that? I'm always like, I'm so proud of you, you little weirdo. Like, I don't know if you have anyone in your corner, but I'm in your corner. If you're imagining a crowd, imagine me in the crowd. And you're like, if Artemis was here, they would be like, go ahead, my little weirdo, share your magic, shine, okay? Because I'm rooting for your utmost success. So like, don't live in fear. Don't live in this cave. And you're just like peeking out the corner and you're like, oh my God, this is not a safe environment. I'm so angry because nobody here understands, okay? Like, trust that there are people that maybe they don't look like you because they're not brave enough to express their weird in a physical sense. Maybe their weird is more mental, but like, whatever the case may be, have the idea that somebody is out there rooting for my utmost glory, and surrender to spirit, because spirit is that sacred ancestor that is pushing you towards the gateway of new and different and better, because you're never going to get out of this fear if you stay in the cave, if you stay in isolation. Why do you have to fall on the floor? And if you fall on the floor, get back up. Okay, pile 1. What was I saying? Oh, before the end of the year. Oh my God. I'm so psychic, okay? We have share your voice, come out of the cave, persecution, expression. And I just said, didn't I just say you can't stay in this cave of fear because then your surroundings will never change? Like, you're learning to share your voice, go on stage, express yourself. Here I am, this is me. I was thinking of Camp Rock, Demi Lovato, but then the lyrics escaped me, okay? Persecution, stop persecuting yourself. Stop judging yourself. Stop punishing yourself because you assume that that's how people are gonna be. Like, it's giving ancient times, right? And you're scared to share your magic because you assume everyone's already going to have the rope ready and the fire and the matches ready to burn you at the stake. Like, stop assuming your detriment before you even had a chance to shine and explore. Because maybe you put yourself out there and people are like, oh yeah, we want more encore. Like, you know, share your voice, your expression, your ideas. Just trust that this is it. You don't got to be sitting in these rocks, like these lumpy ass rocks. I wish I could swim. But what if I never been in water before? So what if I drown? What if you float? What if you know, I could swim underwater, but I can't swim above the water. So what if you go and you swim underwater and you see all this whole new world, like, and this coral and these starfish and all of these things you never experienced before because all you seen was your little dewy, wet, cold cave. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I can't believe that card came out after I literally just said that. Pile 1 before the end of the year. Nope, 2 cards. We only want 1. Pile 1 before the end of the year. Creative expression. And this says expression. And we have been talking about you putting your ideas out there this entire time. You're like, it says your soul longs to express itself creatively. You're longing to put yourself out there. You're longing to make a video of you dancing. Like, it don't gotta be a 20-minute video. You could just make a short little reel. Like, you are longing to express yourself in a way, and you're just kind of like, maybe imposter syndrome. You're like, do I have a right to do that? Can I pursue that? Is this okay? It is okay. You don't need no permission slip signed. And if you do, here, give it to your teacher. I told them it was okay. I told them that you were allowed, okay? Let your little weirdo light shine. You are a work of art, and anything you create is your expression and your view in the world. And if you look out in the world and there's nobody like you, that doesn't mean let me shy away because nobody can relate. That means we are long overdue for your point of view, okay? You're making me so excited. Let's get, I told you I was gonna pull tarot, but do I even want to? I don't. I really don't. But since I said I will. I have 5 tarot decks. I don't know which one I wanted. Let's pick the fairy tale deck because for you, maybe this happy ending feels like a fairy tale. I just seen 32:32 on the recording time. Oh, and we have 12:11 on the clock. So of course I'll put in what all of that information means. Pile 1. We have King of Wands, okay, which is even better than the Page of Wands because this is inspired action. This is being a visionary. This is seeing what you want and going and taking action after it, okay? This is fire sign energy. Tap into your fire energy. That's Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Sagittariuses are all about expansion, traveling, doing what's necessary to make that move. Leos is all about soaking up the spotlight, okay, and standing in the light. And Aries is all about being the first to get it done. So again, if you're looking out there and it's not there, you create it. I looked out there and I'm a little weirdo and I'm sitting in isolation and I'm like, damn, where is my peoples? I don't see them. Let me create WRDOHVN so that it's a safe place for weirdos and that they know there is somebody, some place they can call home, some type of sanctuary, some type of safety. So, you know, go after that thing. And this is also a phoenix rising from the ashes. So again, when you fall on the floor, you get back up. If you have to completely burn yourself and start all over, do it, okay? I changed my name, first and last name. I changed my gender, okay? I'm non-binary. I did whatever is necessary. I scrapped away everything that wasn't me to get that much closer to my magic. I shattered my prism so I can find my light. And I also just got the vision of actually shattering a prism, and then now you have all these broken pieces, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, I fucked it up. I broke it. It's broken. The table is broken. But all those little pieces can still reflect light. And now maybe you made a, what's that thing? It's not called a day catcher. I mean, it's not called a dream catcher. A sun catcher? Or there's something that you can create from broken glass and put it in the light and it reflects the light. So it still works. Like, you know what I mean? Even with all these broken pieces, it still works. And don't even look at those pieces as broken. Look at those pieces as a representation of you being able to shatter your prison, to come out that cave. Because that prism was a cave, a cage. And being able to come out of it, whatever way was necessary, was the goal. The goal wasn't to stay whole if that meant that you were disconnected from your light. The goal was always to find your light. Oh, 𝚙𝚏𝚏𝚎, before the end of the year. We have the Two of Wands, which again is about travel. It's about the future, making plans for the future. I feel like also you have this duality where it's like the mask you put on in the world and your actual weirdo energy that's behind it. This is the key to everything. So unlock your magic, transform into that energy that you're looking for. And then the ocean being behind there goes back to that swimming vibe I was saying before. There's a whole vast world beneath the surface. And then we have the Two of Coins, which is about prioritizing, juggling responsibilities, finding your balance, staying flexible. So this is new territory. So don't be angry if you don't adapt right away. You're not a fish, okay? You're learning a new environment. So don't let you can't jump in the water and be like, fuck, these damn fishes know how to swim so easily and so effortlessly, and I'm over here flailing around. Like, y'all are not the same species. You are a starseed. You are a weirdo, and they are some basic bitch normal person. You don't even want to be that. You explore the depths of your own ocean. And you come out on top. You figure out. And we have Five of Swords, which goes back to that energy of letting go, of surrendering, of allowing spirit to do what it does, of trusting the guidance that you're being given, or like the direction you're being called. And we have the Star, which is Aquarius energy. I'm an Aquarius. If you're an Aquarius, shout out to you, my fellow weirdo. Okay, this is the aliens of the group, which I just said, you're not the same species as these other people. You're an alien, okay? You're out of this world, and you need to keep this hope and this trust and follow this intuition, follow this North Star, which is your intuition calling you to do certain things. And with her hair being long, obviously it's reminding me of Rapunzel, of Tangled. So, you know, in the new Rapunzel, and at last I see the light, and it's like the fog has lifted. Okay, you being in that prison was the fog, was the haze that you were in. And now you can see your own light and see your own magic. And you're like, oh, let me follow that. Let me pursue that. Let me go where it's calling me. And even Rapunzel, she's looking out in the world that's at the surface out of her window, and she's just seeing the surface, but being able to go down the tower and being able to explore the land, that's you diving into that new environment, diving into the ocean, seeing what's out there, seeing what you could be capable of outside of the thought of it. Because she thought of leaving her house and seeing the lanterns up close, and then it's another thing when she was experiencing it. And remember, she was like, oh my God, I should go in the house. My mom's gonna kill me. My mom's gonna hate me. No, it's okay. I deserve to be here. I want to explore. I want to see what it is. Maybe I should go in the house. Maybe I shouldn't. So even with her anxiety, she still pushed forward and was like, okay, but I'm still gonna get it done. And that's you. Even with your anxiety, even with your fear, even with your struggles, have that in your back pocket. Have your little moment of freak out, but still pursue towards what you're trying to get done. And then we have Three of Wands. A lot of Wands energy. Three of Wands is all about waiting for things to click into place, making plans. Again, traveling energy. So I feel like some of you need to move. Some of you need to travel outside of your environment or wherever you are. Because this reminds me of Hogwarts in the background. Hogwarts is the school of magic. So maybe you are under the impression that you're a muggle, but hello, you are a wizard, Harry, okay? And then we have Nine of Swords, which is exactly the anxiety energy, the fear that was coming out. For some of you, the depression. Some of you don't want to disappoint your family by going this route. And it's kind of like, do what you got to do. Some of you don't want to confuse the kids. Maybe you're non-binary. Maybe you have a kid, but you're gay. Like, I was getting the energy. I was getting the vision of like a dad, and you've been with your wife for 8 years, but you're actually gay on the low. Or maybe you don't even know if you're gay, but you haven't really accepted something in yourself, some little weirdo energy you haven't let out. And you're like, I don't want to disappoint the family. I don't want to disappoint the kids. Like, they're going to disown me or something like that. And it's kind of like, again, don't imagine the worst. Because these people love you for you, not what you have to offer, not what title you carry. And then I had another image pop in my head. What was it? Oh, you've disowned your dream for so long. You've disowned your passion, yourself, your purpose. So like you're gonna stay in this cave all of life just so you can say that these people are with you. They're not even in the cave with you. You're in isolation. And you just have these people around that are a false sense of warmth. But wouldn't you rather stand in the sun and actually feel the warmth and actually be in the light? Your answer better be yes. Money. Okay, we're gonna do tea leaves and a little advice card, and I'll let you go. I didn't even think this was gonna be this long initially, but I mean, it's not long. This is like my average 45 minutes or something. Tea leaves. Okay, I just got it down here. Pile 1, what is happening to them before the end of the year? We have haystack, karma. You will reap what you have sown. Also, this is giving me the energy of like needle in a haystack. So again, you're the needle and you're around all this hay. Of course, you're going to feel like something's wrong with you or like you don't belong. And you're like, everyone's soft or straw and I'm pointy. And, you know, I make more of an effect. If you take a piece of hay and you try to stab yourself with it, it probably would just fold, you know? But you are very sharp. You're very pointy. You kind of like have more of an effect on people. Say you see a bunch of people in the crowd, all of the basic bitches with their little fur Ugg boots and their cable knit sweaters. I mean, I don't fucking know. You could totally have those. That doesn't mean you're a basic bitch. Everyone has magic, but that doesn't mean everyone finds it. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's not the point of the story. You look out in the ocean and you see all these fish and you're like, oh, that's so basic. But then you look again and you're like, oh, look at this person in the crowd wearing this leather outfit. Look at this person in the crowd with this bright pink hair. Look at this bald person in the crowd. Look in the ocean and see this bird. I didn't even know birds could be underwater. That's exactly what I felt when I saw this new Little Mermaid. I was like, what the fuck is this bird doing underwater? I'm confused as fuck. What in the fake is this? But supposedly that's really a bird that could like hold its breath underwater for a certain amount of time. I don't know. But the point is, you are the different. You are the magic. You are like the what? What is that doing here? That seems out of place. And you look at yourself and you feel it the same way. Like, I kind of feel out of place. But that's because you're that 1 in a million. So like, you're not going to find yourself everywhere. You're an alien. And then we have bowl, plenty of material things. This also gives me like that typical art class, making a sketch of a fruit bowl. So again, that goes back to that creative expression energy. But plenty of material things. I feel like going down this path of different is how you're going to find your come up or like your bag. Because it's like, if you go to a store like Forever 21 or like Poshmark, I think is the name of it, or like Target, you could go anywhere and find a white tee and some blue jeans, you know what I mean? But there's only certain stores that carry like a boho chic look or carry Steve Madden leather boots or, you know, there's a different quality when it comes to you. So it's kind of like that different, that point of view that's not seen often, that's not easily replicated, that's going to draw, you know, the bread, the bag, the money, the cheddar to you. We have, you will be taken care of in difficult times. Staff, which goes back to intuition and your ancestors. They're all standing with you as you transform into the baddest bitch you could be. Okay, the person you always know you was. That star, that North Star is always guiding you and is going to take care of you in these difficult times. And then we have lobster, financial pinch. But then we just have plenty of material things. So maybe if you stay in the shadows, you're going to feel that financial pinch. But also, I feel like something's going to push you out of your realm. So like, you know how a needle is like a little pinch? This little financial pinch, this little lobster pinch is going to be something that's like, ow. And it's not something that actually hurt you, but it's something that just kind of woke you up. Like, oh, what am I doing here? What am I trying to get done? And then we have wreath, which is sorrow over loss, which makes me think of the phoenix from the ashes dying and being rebirthed into something new, a new transformation. So of course you're going to have a little sorrow of the person you used to be, I had a funeral for my old self, and I be telling my family, like, bro, your daughter died. She don't exist no more. And they be like, ha ha ha, you're so dramatic. And I'm like, think what you want, but I am a non-binary being. I have a completely new name now. You technically birthed this body, but this soul has nothing to do with you. So of course there was a little sorrow over loss of what I learned. I mean, of what I had to kind of like reformulate and figure out what's really meant for me in this life and what I'm trying to accomplish. And granted, I'm like the estranged child because I tried to disown my entire family and it basically worked. But to each their own, all right? I'm not saying, again, with this parent who's maybe trans or gay or just is a different version of what their family assumes they are, I'm not saying they're going to disown you, all right? Because my family wanted to try, but I just please, I told you I'm an Aquarius, just please leave me alone. Like, and then we have May. So some of you could be born in May, some of you could be a Taurus. From the beginning, I did feel Taurus energy when I was talking about values and worthiness. But this is also giving me the energy of may I, like, which is, again, you don't need a permission slip. May I change? May I step out into the light? It's like, just take up the space. Leo, just take up the space. This is also giving me the energy of spring, okay? So again, you died, you withered, or maybe you've been withering and finally you're allowing yourself to bloom. You're just going in flow with the stream that's here, okay? And then one last card. That was so fast for pile one. It says, I'm willing to let go of old patterns, which I said from the beginning, we are letting go of patterns and going more towards rituals. And it says, I'm willing to let go of old patterns. And with adrift, it has letting go, letting a higher force take charge for a while. So pile one, before the end of the year, you are going to be expressing yourself. You're going to be communicating your truth. You are going to be trusting intuition to guide you into the transformation necessary so that you don't feel like you are on the sidelines or you are never going to get out of the darkness. You are owning your weirdo light and you are owning yourself and your magic so that you can see your light out there in real life, and it's coming off the pages of the sheets and it's coming out of your drafts and it's being exposed and imprinted on the world because your vision and your point of view deserve to be out there. And it's okay to have anxiety and it's okay to have fear and it's okay to feel sad about the things we used to have, but none of that is an excuse to allow yourself and allow your truth to wither away, okay? Own the things that make you you and take the key to unlocking your secrets and unlocking your magic so that you can be a phoenix that rises from the ashes. So this is what I have for you, pile two, my dandelion doodles, okay, or whatever I had said in the beginning. If this resonated with you, be sure to comment down below, like, subscribe, share with your friends, all of that good stuff. And I will see you next time. Bye. Hello, pile two, my fierce flaming firecrackers. Today we are tapping into what is going to happen before the end of the year. So without further ado, okay, let's get right into it. We have number 19, which comes down to number 1. 1 is all about new beginnings. It says she of the woods, peace, connection, home. I feel like some of you could be moving, or within your house, you're finding more time for peace, more time for self-care, more time for rest. Maybe you're taking up meditation, yoga. That's the vibe that's coming through. I feel like you're also spending more time on, I said self-care, but specifically like washing your face or brushing your hair or doing something that feels connected to, or even sitting out in the sun, something that feels connected to like good health practices. But let's keep going. What's happening with pile 2 before the end of the year? We have peace walker, which is peace again. We have peace, connection, home, and now we have peace, gentle, forward. Yeah, peace of mind is a big something. Maybe some of you are quitting your job to find more peace. It also says peace, gentle, forward. I feel like some of you may be having better boundaries with people or with at work. So you're like, no, I need these days off and I can't. And I'm like, maybe you have a day off and someone's like, you're not even busy, so you can drive me to the airport. And you're like, I'm taking gentle steps towards myself. So even if in reality it looks like I'm not doing anything, this is the time necessary for me, and I'm not letting anybody intrude on that time. And having better boundaries with saying no is coming through. Pile 2, what is happening before the end of the year? We have surrender, number 12, let go, freedom, flow. So yeah, peace, freedom. Maybe you're spending more time at home, going with the flow. I feel like, again, you're a workaholic, or you spend a lot of time at work. You're doing more to have your boundaries up, letting go of expectations of others, surrendering to intuition or your body pulls, you know? It's giving me the energy of like, I'm in the mood to sleep, so I'm gonna nap, even if it's 3 p.m. I'm in the mood to eat, so even if I just ate, I'm gonna have a snack. Like, you're doing things that you're being called to do. You're surrendering to intuition. Okay, a little kid just needed my attention. So that goes back to that energy of surrendering, of letting go, of going with the flow. Of course, I wanted to be like, leave me alone, don't talk to me, I'm busy for the next 45 minutes. But instead, I just surrendered to the energy of the day. So like, we make plans. You know when they say you make plans and God laughs at them or something of the sort? It's kind of that energy where it's like, you can have a plan, you can have a guideline of how you want things to proceed and how you want things to formulate, and you want to pick where the chips may fall, but at the end of the day, you just have to go with the flow of how things are. Did I want to get interrupted? No. But did I get up, handle the quick little moment of distraction to come right back to you with the correct energy and focus? Yes. So it's kind of like, sometimes the things we put off only take but a moment of our time. Or like, one time I was recording and my phone kept blowing up, and I'm getting agitated, I'm getting irritated because my phone keeps ringing. But finally I just picked up, dealt with the situation for the 30 seconds necessary, and went back to my business. So I was able to like clear my energy and find my peace again. And the problem could have took longer, which goes back to boundaries. I answered the phone and I'm like, hey, I'm busy right now, I'm recording something. And they were like, is that more important than talking to me right now? And I said, yes, for me it is. This is a boundary for me, because to you, I may just be sitting in front of a camera talking to myself. But for me, this is my work, this is my joy, this is my peace, and I'm not gonna let you interfere in that. And if that's something you're upset with, you can be angry all by yourself. But I'm not going to continue to be angry because this is something I didn't want to address, you know? So I just addressed it and got it out of my energy and was able to find my peace again. I was able to let go and find my freedom again. So with you, I feel like it's the same thing. You're learning your boundaries, you're distancing yourself from work or from certain situations, you're spending more time at home, you're doing things necessary to find your freedom and your peace and your sense of sanctuary. I feel like also you're maybe a people pleaser. Again, it's hard for you to say no. So there's a lot of things you like let people push, like you're a pushover to some degree. And you're like, oh, well, let me do this for the betterment of the group, or let me do it because I know I'm needed here. But instead you're like, I need to focus on my connection with my body. And my body's telling me now is not the time. My body is telling me to sit down and watch TV with my feet up and not worry about anything else, because it's not your job to save everyone, especially if you're not saving yourself. Like, it's not your job to take your friend to the grocery store because they have no groceries in their house when you haven't even cooked yourself breakfast yet. Like, there's just certain things within your own realm of self that you are finally deciding is more important than the needs of other people. And sure, maybe that makes you selfish, but it's a necessity at this point. You're like, I've done so much for other people. I could write 600 pages. I could fill a Harry Potter book with what I've done for other people. But when it comes to myself, I can barely list the items on my hand, you know? So something in you is like, priorities, something's not right, something needs to change. Pile 2. What is going down before the end of the year? Yeah, it says sacrifice. There are those worth making. There are those that will destroy you. Number 11. I feel like you're finding your balance. There's certain things you're not willing to sacrifice anymore that in the past you may have. So some people are even confused and they're like, but any other time you would jump. Any other time if I'm like, come get me at 2 a.m. because I'm drunk, you would come get me. And now you're like, I'm not going to sacrifice my sleep. Like something don't add up. And you're kind of like, that's not my responsibility. Why are you putting yourself in situations you can't get out of? Why are you getting drunk and out in the streets when you can't take care of yourself? Why is that a me problem? And you're also recognizing one-sided friendships. You're also recognizing the relationships where you pour so much into. You are a fountain. You are a waterfall of love. And they are barely a drizzle. And you're just like, shit ain't adding up. And I'm not saying it should be tit for tat. But there should definitely be a giving and receiving energy. How are you helping the friend that always needs a ride to the grocery store and always wants you to pick her up when she's drunk, but she don't got a car and she can't cook and she don't ever do nothing for you except bitch and complain? So like, is it really a sacrifice? You're maybe sacrificing a sense of familiarity, but you're not sacrificing love or attention or anything you can't give yourself. Or even when it comes to work, you're like, oh, am I sacrificing an extra $100 by not allowing this overtime? Maybe, but what is $100 when I can stay the fuck home and sleep? When I can have enough energy for the next week? Like, you know, it balances itself out. You're realizing things you considered was sacrifice aren't as much of as a sacrifice as they are to your mental health or to your well-being. So you're just like, some need to change. Oh, Freedom almost came out again, but it has 2 cards, so you know why it's not taking it. Before the end of the year for pile 2, what is going on for pile 2 before the end of the year? We have vulnerability, open your heart, allow yourself to be tender, number 39. With this vulnerability card and this person being carried, is giving me the energy that you put a lot on your shoulders or you feel like a lot is your responsibility. And with being vulnerable, open your heart, you're kind of like telling people how you feel. And it's like, I don't feel like doing that. I don't feel like participating in those activities. This is not something I actually want to do. And with vulnerability, it's kind of like letting someone take care of you, even if that's yourself. Because again, you haven't taken care of yourself in the way that you feel like you should. Or it's also giving me, I was just watching this K-drama and this girl was like, I was just going to tell you what she said, but let me just give you a little backstory on her. She didn't have a lot of self-worth and was really obsessed with this guy, and she like was going to stop eating if this guy didn't pay attention to her or didn't text her back, or, you know, and eventually she got her life together and she was like, I'm going to give myself the love that I was willing to give him. So everything she was willing to do for another, she's finally going to give to herself. So I feel like that's you. You are kind of like carrying yourself. And you're like, oh, pobrecita, you little depleted person. Let me nurse you back to health. Let me nurture you. Let me make you feel strong. Like, you taking your friend grocery shopping, but do you grocery shop for yourself? Do you feed yourself? Are you giving yourself these well-rounded meals or these smoothies or working out or something like that? There's a zombie apocalypse and we all gotta run. Are you running or are you turning into a zombie because you don't take care of yourself and you not in the physical aspects necessary needed to run out of danger? You know what I mean? So you're just trying to think ahead. And with allow yourself to be tender, that goes back to sitting down, resting, like, I'm just gonna be here enjoying myself. Like, when's the last time you sat on your couch? I feel like you have a nice house. It's giving me Taurus energy, okay? With that home word that popped up, I feel like you have a nice house. You have these nice things and you're just kind of like, I've never cooked in my kitchen. I've never used my dishwasher. I never felt just how soft my pillows are because this is something you never let yourself really experience. And now you're like, I'm not sacrificing whatever I thought was important for what's truly important anymore. And what's truly important is your well-being. Pile 2, what's going down before the end of the year? We have 𝚘𝚊𝚏𝚎, number 45. It says, wonder voyage, crossing deep waters, pilgrimage, journey of the soul. And with this, I feel like maybe before you're like, I need to be on a speedboat. I need to get to my destination. I got things to do. But now you're not trying to sacrifice the moment anymore or sacrifice the chance at enjoyment. Instead, you're like, let me stop and smell the roses. Let me touch the dolphins. Let me enjoy my scenery. It's also giving the vision of like, say you live in a busy city and you went to the country or you went somewhere upstate to visit like family, and normally you're there and you're like, oh my god, there's like the shittiest Wi-Fi here and there's no cell service, and you feel like you're sacrificing your job or what you can complete because you had to take time for your family. You're sacrificing your responsibilities for the environment you're in or something of the sort, but instead you're trying to see the comfort in the situation. So you're like, oh, look at the scenery, look at this river, I can't believe I saw a deer just come out the woods. Like, that's so cool. Your priorities are changing. And with allowing yourself to be tender, more soft, more kind-hearted, it's like you're not so, it's like the ice around your heart is melting a little. So you're not so distracted by the walls and being stern and being serious and being future focused. You are allowing yourself to be in the moment and enjoy things as they flow towards you. And that's because you're allowing yourself to be more free. You know, you're surrendering to the moment. And you're like, okay, let me just enjoy where I am, instead of being so focused on where I gotta get to and where I gotta be. And then we have 12:44 on the clock. Pile 2, what is happening before the end of the year for pile 2? Too many cards. Too many cards. Okay. We have communication, number 22. So we had 11 and now we have 22. Communication. I feel like you're communicating your needs, your boundaries again. What requirements is for your best benefit moving forward. You're communicating what's necessary to keep your light. I feel like tears of joy. You're almost like, oh my god, I never realized how great life could be if you just take a minute to experience the now. Like, even your friends are very much like, who even are you? It's giving me Sex and the City vibes. Miranda Hobbs, okay, that's the redhead that they never brush her hair in this new season, and just like that. And she was all about her job and being a lawyer and being focused on her clients, and then eventually she was just like, okay, I'm done with this. I'm gonna retire, or I'm gonna take a break. And her friends, or I feel like your friends, they're so used to seeing you as this type A, always on the go, always got their Palm Pilot, always at an appointment, always doing, moving, going. So to just see you sit, and to just see you sip a glass of wine, or to hear you say no to overtime, or they're just like, who even are you? What even happened to you? You're like, I'm putting in my PTO, I'm going on a retreat, and they're just like, huh? We've been trying to convince you to go to Peru for 6 years now, and you always made an excuse, and now you're just taking a solo trip to the Maldives. Like, what is even happening? And you're just like, it's time for a change. Like, I'm tired of crying for things that don't matter. Like maybe you cried because you didn't miss your deadline, or maybe there was a halt in production and something got rearranged and it all fell down to you, and you're like, oh my God, I do so much for this company and it's so much. And now you want to be like tears of joy, where it's like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. I witnessed the birth of a deer. I don't know why this deer stag energy is really jumping out at me. Let me look up the spirit animal information and post it right here. Maybe you've been seeing deers in your dream. I'm not sure. But like you saw the birth of something, or you saved somebody's life, and maybe you really saved somebody's life and like you performed the Heimlich or something. Because you were finally off your phone and you were able to look around at your scenario and you saw someone like, and you're like, oh my God, they're choking, let me save them. Or maybe you saved someone's life in the sense where someone dropped their passport on the floor and you, again, were off your phone long enough to notice it. And you're like, oh, hey, you, I found this. And they're like, oh my God, you saved my life. Without that, I would have never been able to get on my plane. I would have been delayed on my flight. Like, you know, something. But yeah, you're more willing to communicate your needs because you're more willing to be vulnerable. Like, I require this, I need this, and that's not going to work for me. We have salvation, green Tara, number 17. The definition of salvation. But also, green Tara is all about protection, and also it's kind of like the universe putting you in the places you need to be when you need to be there. So there was a reason that that now is the present moment, that right before this year ends, that this peace energy is finally coming to the surface. Or you needed the culmination of all that struggle and responsibility and prioritization of the past to get to this sense of freedom now before this year ends. And I feel like it's also so that you can enjoy family time in Thanksgiving or in Christmas or for the new year, so you can start your year in a different mindset than you usually are in, depending when you're seeing this video. I recorded it in almost November, end of October. So, and even technically this is Halloween, so giving you the opportunity to be like, no, I can't come in for those extra hours because I'm actually going to spend Halloween trick-or-treating with my kids. And they're like, since when do you say no to overtime? Since when do you say no to holiday pay? And you're just like, things need to change, Roger. And then we have devotion, number 41, which comes down to 5. 5 is all about change and transition. So it's like you're devoting your time to your peace, to your freedom, to those gentle steps forward. And you're like, something needs to change, William, Roger. I don't know why I'm getting these names. Old, outdated, that's what I'm getting. Because when I thought of Roger, I thought of Roger Rabbit. And Roger Rabbit was aired in like 1968 or something like that. Let's put the real year right here. And William, Sir William the Fourth, you know, that's just an old name too. So I feel like you're getting out of all this outdated energy and all of this kind of old patterns. I have my little cheat sheet about, you know, what card is next. Give me a second. Oh, okay, yeah. So then I got this new deck, and I never tell you guys about decks, but this is called the Prism Oracle, and it is so pretty. I don't have any deck that looks like this, so I'm so excited to use it. Pile 2 before the end of the year. We have faith, okay, which is definitely an energy of faith, because people are looking at you like, who are you? What happened to the normal Meredith? I don't know. I don't know who you are. And you're just like, I have this faith. I have this new hope that there's something more for me than this. I was going to say than this 9 to 5, but some of you are on salary and it's not 9 to 5 and it's all the time and it's weekends and it's spilling over into your personal life. Some of you don't even have a personal life. And it's just like, I have a faith that I'm supposed to be in Peru right now, or in Japan, or something's calling me overseas, or I want to be near a body of water, or I want to pet a dolphin, or I want to skydive, or I want to cross things off my bucket list. And there's just this newfound faith that you're supposed to be somewhere else. I feel like you're even walking down the street, and it doesn't even have to be like necessarily a book that inspired you. It's like you saw someone walking down the street, and that's like an outfit you always wanted to wear, or a hairstyle you always wanted to try, or you overheard a conversation, or you've seen a quote on the side of the bus, and something just clicked for you where it's like, what am I even doing? Like, what am I even doing? I feel like you even got out of a taxi and you bumped into somebody and you dropped your phone and it cracked, but you bumped into a pregnant lady and she's like, I'm sorry. And you're like, but then you like took a step back and you're like, what am I even doing? What? Or maybe you looked at her and you're too old to get pregnant now and you always wanted a family and that was something you weren't able to have. Like, it's something, you saw something out in a distance and it just gave you this moment where it's like, how have 35 years passed already? Like, obviously some of you are younger, so it doesn't have to be that exact age, but it's just like, what is happening right now? Okay, pile 2. What is gonna happen before the end of the year? We have happiness, which makes me so happy for you, which makes sense though. We got peace, connection, freedom, letting go, surrendering, going with the flow. That's all, and following this new faith is all leading you, and back with that green Tara, being where you need to be, when you need to be, it is all pointing you in the direction of happiness. And then we have the stop card, which brings me back to stop, say no, set those boundaries, stop going to, like, stop asking me to stay late, stop asking me to take you places, stop depending on me. And we have death. Yeah, you're putting an end with this stop card too. You're putting an end to your usual and your familiar, and you're choosing to be devoted to you and your peace and your self-care and your vulnerability, and you're opening your heart to your true wants and desires. And with this death card, that's Scorpio energy. And this faith card is bringing me Taurus energy, which I already did mention with that home energy. Also Aquarius energy. I feel like you were in earth sign energy, Capricorn energy, very much about your money, about your business, about your investments, about your work life. And you're trying to shift more into, I guess we could say, water energy, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, where you're trying to heal more, get out of the baggage, find more comforts, find more feeling vibes, which goes back to that vulnerability energy. Lily, pile 2. What's going to happen before the end of the year? It's also giving me eat, pray, love vibes. We have no. It says wait, postpone, pause, say no. Didn't I mention that? You're finally able to say no. You're not being a pushover or people pleaser. No, I'm not taking you there. No, we're not hanging out. No, I need my own personal space. No, I'm not sacrificing anything for my sense of self-care. And then we also have answer the call. It says, what is your soul calling you to do? For a lot of you, your soul is calling you to travel, but also to change your routine, to change your schedule, to change your normal, to spend more time investing in yourself. We also have 12:55 on the clock. What is going down with pile 2 before year's end? We have light and love. It says your purpose is to bring divine healing, light and love to this world. Yeah, you're trying to heal out of your familiars. You're trying to go more in a sense of loving yourself, of doing things that expand your light instead of dimming your light, instead of stealing your energy. Too many cards. Pile 2 before the end of the year. Why does everything fall on the floor? I feel like also for you, normally when things fall on the floor, you're so quick to dust yourself off and get back up. But now you're kind of like, let me spend some time on the floor. I spent a lot of money on these floors. Like, when's the last time I laid on the floor? When's the last time I stared at the ceiling? When's the last time I looked at the clouds? Like, you're usually up in the skyscrapers, or like seeing the world from like a higher view. I feel like maybe you look down on people a lot, which goes back to that energy of bumping into that pregnant lady and almost being like mad about it and bummed. And then you're like, when's the last time I've been down here in reality? When's the last time I've been off my phone and really looked at the people? And you're kind of getting a looking up at things. I feel like in life, maybe you have, ooh, I wouldn't say a lot of your dreams came true, but I feel like you have a lot of successes. Like maybe you're a manager of a company that you never really wanted to be a part of, but like you have a high position and a well-paying job, so that's cool. But now you're like, oh, I can afford all these fashions and I have a Mercedes Benz, and you're like looking down at people, but now you're in a position where you're like, but have any of my dreams come true? Like, this lady is getting in a taxi looking like Cinderella before her transformation, and she looked happier than I do. I'm confused. There's this man eating pizza next to his dog looking like he hasn't showered in weeks, and he looked happier than I do, and I'm wearing vintage Givenchy. Like, I don't know. Something's not adding up for you, though. I'm surprised you're on my video. But anyway. Yeah, you're like, that goes back to that faith energy. Oh, and we have career change. It says you're embarking upon a career that brings you the joy and abundance you desire and deserve. And like a lighthouse in the dark, you're finding that light. Which goes back to that found faith, which goes back to kind of that eat, pray, love vibe, where it's kind of like, in Eat, Pray, Love, Julia Roberts, I think she was about to get a divorce, and something just clicked, and she just needed to go and venture off and experience new cultures and new something. And that's kind of you. You're like, I need to get out of this mindset, because everyone around me is, or it's even like just waking up from the Matrix. It's like, you were so caught up in your bubble, and you're like, red carpet, fancy lunches. And then something clicked, and you're like, all of you are vapid and fake, and you don't even care about the bigger things. You guys write checks for charity, but when's the last time you were in a soup kitchen? Like, and it's just, you're just trying to reevaluate your environment. Or even, it's giving me Three of Wands in reverse energy, where it's kind of like, you return home and you're just like usually you don't visit home often, or you go home and you're just like, ugh, this place, how dreary, how disgusting. And then you go back home and you're just like, wow, this is where I came from. I'm so blessed to not be in these situations anymore, but like, let's get back. Let me go visit my old high school. Let me really get in a perspective of where I came from. Like, I don't know. It's like a full circle journey. I feel like maybe you were running away from what was for so long. You could finally be at peace. Maybe that's two different stories. There's those of you having, I mean, it still goes back with that death energy. The person you are is not the person you want to be moving forward. And some of you could be that people pleaser, that overworker, that, you know, and some of you could just be in this facade and this air of elite, and you're trying to reformulate what type of person you want to be. Interesting. Okay. The tea bag. Oh, wait. Tarot. Definitely want some tarot. Let's go with this one. Pile 2. What is going down before the end of the year? What is happening before the end of the year? Pile 2. We have Two of Swords, which is being in a stalemate, which is that job energy and following intuition to get you out of it. And a little bit of indecision, because you're just like, where do I go? What do I do? How can I say no to these people? We have Ten of Wands, which is about prioritizing responsibilities and burden. I feel like a lot rests on your shoulders. So to have to say no to certain people or your job or your boss is kind of like scary. But intuitively, again, you're being called to journey in this way. So you're kind of like, I have to reprioritize. I have to do better for myself. Because also carrying all of this on your back by yourself, that's heavy as fuck. It's like carrying the weight on your shoulders. And you're like, why is this my responsibility? Then we have Ace of Pentacles, which is a new beginning, a new investment. So that's that journey. That's that death, that new start. We have the Lovers, which is Gemini energy. The Lovers is about love, trust, harmony, but also choices. So it's choosing that light and love. Choosing to go a different path. Choosing to follow this faith. To find your sense of harmony. To find your freedom. To find your peace. Because maybe even you're in these circles and you were distracted by the air of elitism or privilege or something of the sort. Oh, I lost my train of thought. But like maybe you felt like you didn't quite fit in. And you were out of harmony because you're like, am I wearing the right thing? Am I doing things as I should? And then you're just like, I'm not pleasing people anymore. I need to please myself. I need to invest in my own self-care. And then we have Four of Swords, which is rest, relaxation, meditation, which is all energy I felt in the beginning. Peace, home, connection, freedom. Focusing on yourself, focusing on your interests, your love, your pleasures. Saying no to the things that don't resonate or maybe never resonated. Being devoted to yourself. Okay, now the tea bag. Pile 2 before the end of the year. We have a stubborn, aggressive person, Ram, which gives me Aries energy. I feel like you were a stubborn, aggressive person. Where even your family's like, come visit, and you're like, no, I gotta do this. I have deadlines, I have priorities, I have responsibilities. But you're getting out of your own way. We have Dolphin, financial gain, usually coming from something you did in the past. And with Dolphin, this goes back to this energy for me, where you're stopping and smelling the roses, you're petting the dolphins, you're not just trying to get to the destination, you're enjoying the journey. We have Horseshoe, which is good luck. We have Shark, take care or there will be a loss of material wealth. But we also have financial gain here. This reminds me of, baby, there's a shark in the water. There's something underneath my bed. Oh, please believe I said. Something underneath my bed is monsters underneath your bed. The monsters in the dark. Which makes me think monsters are sacrifices we think we're not allowed to make. And you putting a death to all those monsters. Monsters also makes me think of zombies. And remember, I was talking about, can you run from the zombies? I have a zombie right here, actually. Let me show you. Take care or there will be a loss of material wealth. That gives me the energy of take care or the losses you endure will be more than material, even though it says material wealth. Okay, and using intuition here, it's kind of like, what do you get when you work overtime? You get more money, but what do you lose? You lose peace of mind, you lose sanity, you lose energy that could be better served somewhere else. I feel like it got darker after I touched the camera. So yeah, take care or there will be a loss. We have casket, someone going out of your life or the end of a situation, which goes back to this death card and also gives me the energy of this career change. Some of you aren't just limiting your hours. Some of you are going to completely quit your job and just go do your own thing. And, or someone is going out of your life, the old you, the you that is, remember, because the new you has your friends like, who even are you? Because you just have this whole new persona. That stubborn, aggressive person has gone. And then we have finger warning you of a problem now or in the near future. And we know what the problem is. Putting your job first. Putting other people first. That is the problem. See, now it's too bright. Okay, last card. Pile 2. Before the end of the year. Advice. Too many cards. Advice before the end of the year for pile 2. Come on, everyone needs a little help. Okay, we have, I trust in divine timing and find peace in life's magnificent unfolding. Okay, we already have peace pop out twice. I did mention divine timing because there was a reason that all that shenanigan had to culminate up until this point to get you in the mindset where you can find this new faith, okay? Just one more time. I trust in divine timing and find peace in life's magnificent unfolding. So if something is calling you to quit your job or to take a vacation or to switch things up or to say no to people, now is the time for all of that. So before the end of the year, you are going to find peace. You are going to find freedom. You're going to let go and surrender to the things that no longer resonate with you. And it was served its purpose to be a hard-working person in the past. But moving forward, that's not the energy you want to entangle with any longer. And if you don't figure this out now, there is going to be a problem. So with the utmost light, love, and abundance, I wish you the best. Be sure to comment down below and let me know if this resonated with you. Like, subscribe, share with your friends, all of those good things. And my fierce firecracker, until next time. Bye! Hello, pile 3, my bumbling, blooming beauties. Okay, this is what, hold on. This is what's going down before the end of the year. So let's get right in. Okay, for pile 3, before the end of the year, what is happening? Ooh. Okay. In my head, I was just seeing how, so nobody's getting love. And then the love card popped out, which makes me so excited because I have this new deck about love and I've been wanting to pull it for one of the groups, but it hasn't resonated because no one got love energy except you guys. So it says heart center, connection, love receiving, number 29. Some of you could be 29 years old and you feel like you've been waiting your whole life and you're like, can I find love before 30? Like, where the fuck is my soulmate? And the energy is coming in before the end of the year. Someone has a key to your heart, or I feel like you have been not letting a lot of people in, not really dating, not really playing the field or anything like that because you're kind of like soulmate centered, really kind of focused on one particular entity or energy, and they are going to come in before the end of the year. And then we have number 29, which turns into 11, and 11 is all about balance. And also 11, when it comes to love, reminds me of you are one whole entity and they are one whole entity, and together you guys make you know, because some people, they say like 2 halves to a heart, but for me, 1 + 1 = 3. So it's like you and them, they're each your own whole, and together you make a whole new something. I'm so happy for you. Okay, before the end of the year, pile 3, we have the pentagram, number 27. It says protection, balance, unity, and I did mention balance with 11, and then unity, that goes back to that love connection. And then with 27, the first card was 29 and this one's 27, so I feel like they could be younger than you. That doesn't have to be the case, but I feel like you're also very protected in this energy, so you can give someone that key to your heart and they won't fumble it. Before the end of the year, pile 3. We have, it came off like on the side. We have number 11, and we just were talking about balance, but it says depressed, isolated, help, blue. Oh, and this one said the pentagram, and this one said heart center. So I feel like your heart chakra is opening, even becoming open to the idea of a relationship. Because like maybe you're like, oh, I totally would date someone, but your heart was kind of closed off. Or your friend is like, I'm gonna set you on the blind date, and you're like, no, don't do that. And you kind of felt like closed off to dating or like a relationship experience. I feel like your heart is going to be more open. With depressed, isolated, help, I feel like that goes back to that energy of being closed off, you know, for so long, and you're finally opening up. But also with isolated and having both of these cards being more positive prior to it, I feel like you are going to be isolated with them. They're going to help you heal out of any depression or any isolation you felt being, you know, single, or not having the best demonstration of love. If you weren't single, maybe you dated around, because some people don't need hands-on experience to learn. They could just see other relationships and be like, oh, I don't want none of that. Or like are very good at self-reflecting and self-actualizing, I think is the word, is just kind of like self-help. They can help themselves, but some people need other people to help them. So I feel like this person is going to help you get a better view of the possibility of like good relationships. Because maybe you've only seen like bad demonstrations. But I feel like any blueness or any sadness or any reason you didn't want to date, that they're going to shift that around. And you're going to be like, I never imagined a connection, but I may just be imagining a future with you, you know? All right, pile 3. And this makes me happy because I did this reading on myself and love is coming in for me also. But also when I pick piles, I typically pick pile 3. Not because that's my go-to number. That's definitely not how you should pick a pile. It should be intuitively. But intuitively, I'm always just drawn to pile. Pile 3 just always seems to have my message. So this would have been my message too. Look at us. We in the love bubble together. Pile 3, before the end of the year, we have Time and Tide. This card did come out for pile 1. It says number 18, oceanic spells and rituals. And then they're drawing like a love, like a heart in the sand. So I feel like if you know who this person is, you could be writing, even though it seems kind of childish, but you could be writing you guys' name together, like Mrs. And that, in my head, when I said Mrs., that was spelled MXS. Shout out to all my non-binary friends, okay? Mrs. Whatever their last name is, you know? Or like maybe you have really nice handwriting and you're like, oh, I would always handwrite the possibility of a wedding invitation. So it's like you're cordially invited to the wedding of, and you write your name and you write their name, like writing, you know, your names in the sand or scribbling their name on your notebook. That's giving me the energy. Like the thought of them, if you don't know who they are, the thought of them, the possibility of them feeling like a love connection could be in your energy. It has you like doodling hearts, or has you in this new, like more open mindset. Like they're opening your heart chakra up. With Time and Tide, it's giving me the energy. I wouldn't be surprised if the Wheel of Fortune card comes out, where it's like, there was a reason you were on the sidelines when it comes to dating. There was a reason you weren't really participating in the dating game, or you didn't have the right relationships that made you feel oozing warmth and being more welcome to love. And it's kind of like the tides are shifting. The time has come where that energy is changing. I feel like also, again, with that self-help energy, I feel like you're very good at healing yourself and doing inner work. Maybe you have like Scorpio in your chart somewhere. And you're very good at transforming and leveling up and like constantly shifting and trying to be better. And your person has been working on that, but they're a little bit slower than you. So it's kind of like Spirit had you distracted or kind of isolated and not really into the dating game, so that when they were ready to be on your level, then you guys can come into union together. So the tides are shifting where, you know, it's also making me think of this song called I'm Thinking About Horses by Mansions. And Mansions is Mike Posner and Black Bear together in like a song, a duo. And in that song, he's like, I'm staring at the waves. I'm watching the waves come from a minuscule tidal wave to like a big tsunami or something like that. So it's like you've been watching yourself grow from being isolated and being solo and kind of being depressed about love, because maybe your Venus is in Pisces like me. Maybe you're a hopeful romantic and you want this like magic that you see in the K-dramas and this gentleness and this softness, and you've watched yourself be closed off to being now where you're so open to the possibility of connection, where it's just like, look at that transformation. And also going from a tidal wave where it's like, not really giving your all, kind of, again, having a lock and key on the potential of how much love you can really give. Because maybe you're the type of person, when you give love, it's a tsunami. It's so overwhelming and so intense and so drowning to the wrong person that you're just kind of like, this reminds me of a song I wrote. It goes, won't allow anyone in deep, because what if they drown, then it's all on me. So it's kind of like, you're going to meet someone who isn't scared of that tsunami, who's ready to get their surfboard and ride that wave, who thinks all the love you can give is such a gift and a treasure. And then we have honor the masculine at the bottom of the deck. So it's kind of like, this is your divine masculine or your divine feminine. This is your divine counterpart. It's giving very much soulmate energy with this divine timing. So with the blue card, depressed, isolated, maybe the thought of your single life or never finding someone before your 30s or anything like that made you feel kind of depressed, but the universe is helping you. There's a reason it went this way, and the tides are now shifting. Pile 3, what is coming to them before the end of the year? Also, let me know down below if you like videos where you can see my face, and if the cards aren't there. I wasn't sure if they were a distraction to some people, so I thought I'd leave them out just to give you guys something to compare it to, but let me know how you feel. Pile 3. Did I say pile 2? Pile 3. If I did, I'm sorry. Pile 3, what is coming to them before the end of the year? Nope, too many cards. Pile 3, before the end of the year, we have visions, psychic images, clairvoyance, seeing, out of body travel, number 37, which comes down to 10, and that's 1, and 1s are about new beginnings. So I feel like, 1, some of you may know who this person is and you see them in your dreams. 2, if you don't know who this person is, you kind of get this energy that someone is coming, like, or something is coming, or there's going to be some type action in the love department. You've been getting visions, and maybe in your vision you don't necessarily see the person. You might see an outline of the person, but you don't necessarily see a face because you don't know who they are yet, or like you see scenarios and they don't creep you out. So like maybe in the past you would imagine you holding hands with someone or going to the movies, and you're just kind of like, ill, I don't want that, ill, like ill. But now you're imagining driving the car, whether you want to be the driver or you're in the passenger seat. I don't want to drive. I want to be driven. So I'm imagining myself in the passenger seat, but the driver is holding, you know, we're holding hands while they drive, and you're just kind of like, that's cute. Or you see K-dramas, or you see, you know, romantic comedies, and you're just kind of like, that's so sweet, that's so cute, versus that's cheesy, ill, I don't want to participate in those activities. You're more open. You see visions of love scenarios, and you're just like, I would love that. Like someone's waking up and calling them, and they're like, oh, I just woke up and I'm thinking of you, or good night. Instead of like, that's so cheesy, no one better do that to me. You're just like, oh, I can't wait till I get those texts. I can't wait till we meet up for breakfast. I can't wait. Like, you're more excited to experience these things. You're seeing these visions. You're seeing these possibilities, and maybe for some of you, you're seeing into your future. You're seeing possibilities for yourself and your person. But whatever it is, you're just way more open to the idea of someone being in your bubble. Like, I used to like, I still wouldn't participate in a one night stand. That's just the type of person I am. I can't do it. They're a stranger. It's just like too much. But I used to laugh and be like, y'all really be having strangers hot ass breath in y'all face, and y'all just quiet, like, let's enjoy ourselves. Like, if I'm explaining it right. Like, just the thought of someone's hot ass breath in your face, or just someone in your bubble or texting you, just seems so irksome. Seems so like, why do I gotta text them back? Why are they just leave me alone? But the thought of getting like a good morning text or something just seems like sweet now, and seems romantic, and seems like something you want to participate in, and the whole vibe has changed, and it's just like, come here. Okay, and then we have number 30, which is telepathy, nonverbal communication, energetic pulses, mind reading. And we had 29 in the beginning, and now we have 30. And by 30, you're going to have your mirror, okay? You're going to have that other half of your heart. You're going to have that connection is the energy I'm getting. But also with telepathy, I feel like there's such a... You're going to understand why it didn't work with any other person, and why this was meant to be your person. Because there's just this telepathic connection, which is why you've been seeing visions of this person if you know who they are. Why you've been seeing their name pop up on songs. Why your Uber driver has the same name as them, okay? There's this connection you guys have, and within the connection you're gonna have that telepathic energy where it's kind of like they already know what you want, they already know what you're looking for, they know when. Oh, it reminds me of this song called Nicest Thing by Kate Nash, and it's kind of like, I wish you loved me, I wish you knew when I said 2 sugars, actually I meant 3. I wish that without me your heart would break. I wish that without me you'd be spending the rest of your nights awake. I wish that without me you couldn't eat. I wish I was the last thing on your mind before you went to sleep. So it's just like, they fit you, they know you, they're your mirror. They know what you want because they want the same thing. So that's why they aren't afraid of a tsunami. They're a tsunami themselves. They're a volcano. They're ready to erupt. And to other people, it seems destructive, and it seems impulsive, and it seems too much. But with you, it's just enough. Like, and you have the lava and you have the tsunami, and together that makes like molten rock. Like, together you can tame that type of something. But yeah, with these hands touching, it's like you guys are coming into union. Maybe before you were like, I don't want to hold anybody's hand in their sweaty palms, like, ew. But now you're just like, hold my hand. That would be so nice, especially if it's the winter and my hand is cold and their hand is warm, and then they could take our hands together and we fit in one pocket. Like, like, you just have this different sense about things. With number 30, it's also making me think of 3. So I feel like for some of you, they could be your friend first, and that's actually something you love. You always wanted your best friend and your person to be like in the same person. Also, I did mention Scorpio energy with that self-help vibe, but I'm also getting Aquarius energy popping out at me, Pisces, Cancer, yeah. I gotta check something real quick, but then I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm making mac and cheese for the kid I babysit, and I feel like in the past, the water is boiling on the stove, and I just got up because I heard the water boiling. We just had 17:17 on the recording time. So I feel like in the past, you were kind of like watching your pot, your dating pot, your love life, and you're waiting for it to boil, and you're like, I don't see anything, I don't see anything. And you know how it says like a watched pot doesn't boil. So it's kind of like, you decided to ignore it. You decided to help yourself. You decided to work on things now so that you could be the best version of yourself when your person came along. And you're like, I'm not going to watch the pot anymore. I'm not going to really like hone in on my love life and try to find this person. I'm just going to do my own thing. And when I hear the pot boiling, I'll know it's ready. And you kind of been getting visions that the pot is boiling, that things are going to finally come into play. Yeah. That's the vibe I'm getting. I'm so excited. I'm so happy for you. I didn't pull this deck for anyone else. This is the love deck because, like I said, the love energy wasn't prevalent or appearing in any other group except your group. I mean, granted, I still have to record pile 4, but I'm pretty sure every pile is different, so they won't have this energy. Nevertheless, we have true love. The first card that tried to come out was Unrequited Love, but I didn't even shuffle yet, so that's why I didn't take it. But Unrequited Love does match your energy, where I feel like you might have had love offers or you have people interested in you. But again, with that locked door on your heart, you didn't really pay mind to anybody, or you weren't really like willing to date, or you could automatically see, because you have telepathy, so you could just automatically see like, this connection isn't going to work. No. So we have true love. This is the romance of a lifetime. This is kind of like the love you've been waiting for. Divine timing is, you know, finally helping you have this surface. We have let your friends help you, and I did mention they might be your friend first because you wanted a best friend and a boo and a lover and, you know, all in the same body. It says ask for and accept support from others. So maybe you're finally open to that blind date that your friend was trying to put you on, or maybe, again, they're your friend. Because me personally, I think the foundation of friendship is the perfect foundation for a relationship. Me personally, I don't understand how people could just date a stranger and automatically go into a romantic relationship with them, especially when a lot of people disguise their red flags or their shenanigans in the beginning to reel you in, and then they show you their truth. But I feel like with friends, you kind of have that openness and that honesty, and then you can develop into something more. Some of you could be demisexual. So yeah, I feel like, or even with let your friends help you, your spirit guides are your friends. So again, that's the universe, that's divine timing working for your favor. But I feel like also with let your friends help you, it's kind of like you let your friends take you out. Like you're out, not at places you don't want to be. If you're not someone who likes the club, don't go with your friends to the club and think you're going to find your person there. Because then your person's going to be like, oh, we're together, let's go out clubbing. You're like, actually, that's not something I even enjoy doing. You know, the dynamics are not the same there. But if you're like, oh, they're gonna run an errand, you want to come with me to the supermarket, I'm about to go to Barnes and Noble, like something like that. And maybe when you're out with your friends, living your best life, not watching the pot boil, is when you stumble upon this person. And then we have make the effort. It says great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take, which goes back again to being more open to a romantic connection at this point in your life, because you've made the effort, you've done the help on yourself, the work on yourself to get to a place where you can allow someone else in your energy. You're the best version of yourself. So it's kind of like you've been making the efforts for yourself. Now be in a position where you can allow someone else in your energy. You're allowing someone else in your space. You're like, oh, let me give you my phone number. Let me do this, do that. Even if it's just a moment, like you don't have to be completely interested in this person, but you're just like, let me hone up on my flirting skills. Like, I'll take this drink. How are you doing? I don't know how to flirt right now under this pressure, but you get what I'm saying. Okay, so I bought this new deck. It's called the Prism Oracle. It is so pretty. None of my other decks look this gorgeous, darling. So I'm super excited to use it. So let's see what comes out. All right. I had to finish up that mac and cheese. See, so it's kind of like Spirit is putting those final ingredients, adding the milk and the butter and the cheese and whatever the case may be. And it wasn't freshly baked mac and cheese. It was prepackaged mac and cheese. So it's kind of like the universe already had this setup, this encounter in the bag, you know? And they just is adding the last little ingredients. Also, when it comes to your friends, I feel like they don't have to be your friend, your best friend currently in your inner circle. They could have been a friend from the past. They could have been a friend of a friend, someone you know, but there's some type of familiarity there. But nevertheless, this, all right, pile 3 before the end of the year. What is the what's up? We have sadness, which goes back to that blue, depressed energy. I feel like you're coming out of this sadness, out of this storm cloud vibe. We have comfort, which goes back to that familiarity of knowing them. There's some type of comfortability here. You don't necessarily have to know them for everybody. It's giving me comfortability in the sense where in the past, when it comes to other people, maybe you were anxious. Maybe your heart was racing. Maybe you felt like you weren't enough. Maybe you felt like they weren't enough. They weren't living up to your levels. But again, with that mirror energy, I feel like there's this comfort. There's this ability to be who you are with them, which is what you want in a connection. You want honesty. You want openness. You want to be able to be yourself. We have passion, which is always great in a connection. You're passionate about this person. They make you want to make an effort to get to know them. They make you want to text them and to hang out with them. They get you interested. They spark a passion. And that goes for both of you. They're very interested in you. That goes back to that mirror energy, okay? A match. We have disruption. They're disrupting your normal flow. Your normal flow is sadness. Your normal flow is isolation. The thought of love is depressing. Nobody wants love in the way you do. Nobody sees love in the way you do. But this person is very much a match. This person is going to disrupt your normal thought process when it comes to love and relationships and connections, and really show you the magic of being that tsunami wholeheartedly, of not having to hold yourself back and only give people certain drops and little dollops of water. It's okay to let it all flush out. And then we have peace. Again, there's a peace here where you can be yourself. There's that sense of comfort. There's a peace of mind that this is going somewhere. Because maybe, you know, this generation, they like a dalliance. They like a one-night stand type of energy. You don't hear about many people who want long-term or monogamy, or it doesn't have to be monogamy. You could be polyamorous, but 30-30 was just on the recording time. But something that you're looking for. And maybe you guys are the same age because you guys are mirrors, so you're both 30, or you'll both be 30 in the same year. So some of you were born in 94 like me, 90s babies, because I told you I got love energy for myself and I'm 29. So it's like we're finding our person right just in the nick of time, right before 30. But yeah, very peace here, peace of mind. And with this peace card is making me think of two things. First of all, a dove, a white dove, and like letting a bird out at the end of a marriage ceremony. So I feel like this is the person you're going to marry. But then it also made me think of Dove, like the soap. And Dove is very gentle on the skin and soft, but they don't test on animals. Very PETA approved. So with that point of not testing on animals, it gives me the energy of they haven't found a love like this before. Like, again, I told you you're a tsunami and they're a volcano. So most people are burned by their love. They say they're too hot. People are scared to fly too close to the sun. But with you, it's very much like, again, that mirror energy where it's the same. They weren't able to give. Can you stop? Eat the food. Stop playing around or I'm gonna throw it in the trash. That was you. You were like, stop playing with my love. Stop playing with my heart. I'm going to throw it away. I'm going to not even give you the time of day. I'm not even going to waste my time with it. And they never were able to fully give their love to someone else. This love hasn't been tested before. It hasn't been diluted by broken promises and such, you know? Because it's like, I gave you an ounce of my love. I gave you a small percentage of my love, and you couldn't even carry that. So I took it back. So this person, you guys are both very at peace and comfortable giving your all to this connection. So I don't feel like they were married before. If they were married, again, they didn't give their all to the connection, but this was something they feel very comfortable giving all of their fire and all of their passion to you, to this connection. Okay. Pile 3, what is coming before the end of the year? Before the end of the year for pile. We have Keepers of the Earth. You're not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you, which gives me the energy again of your spirit team, your friends, the universe, divine timing. The guidance is working in this. The Keepers of the Earth, the keepers of your love story, okay? In the Akashic records, this been written, okay? And you're not alone. In the sense that, yeah, you feel isolated in reality, in the physical reality, but your spirit guides are always with you, and they have been having their eye on this connection this whole time. Because again, there was a reason you haven't been in the right fit just yet, and it's so that you can have this comfortability with other people, so that when this person presented itself, you were like, wow, I never felt such comfort. I never felt such passion in comparison to all the sadnesses that you felt before. So it's kind of like, it seemed like things weren't working out in your favor, but things are working out in your best favor. You had to go through all of this to find yourself and to be the best version of yourself, so that when this person came along, you were more than ready and willing and able and accepting of yourself, and just like in the mental space to have the best love in your life. Because in the past, it's like, I've been maybe you're like, I've been ready for my true love, my soulmate, since I was like 14. And maybe that's true. And you always knew it was just going to be this one person for life and you and them. But you had to be put in positions where you felt insecure, or you didn't feel as worthy, or you didn't see your value, so that you can combat those lessons and you could get to experience those things, so you can get to the product of you now, which is like the closest you've been to your higher self, the closest you've been to love, the closest, or like the most you've ever loved yourself. Because once you love yourself, then you're in the position to love another. So it's kind of like all of those were necessary lessons to get you here. Okay. Pile 3, before the end of the year. We have teaching. It says you inspire young people to learn. I feel like, again, when you were younger, you had to learn those lessons so that you could teach yourself how you need to be loved, or teach yourself what boundaries need to be upheld, or what, you know, what was necessary. And you could teach someone how to love you because you know what you won't accept, or you know what you're looking for beyond just an idea in a movie, but like what is actually tangible. And then we have healer. It says you have the spiritual gift of healing and a desire to share it with others. I feel like this love is going to be very healing for you. To have a love that reflects a love that you have, to be able to receive a love like the love you give is going to be very healing for you. Because I feel like you're the person who always loves more and loves harder, even in friendships. So to have someone match that energy to you is going to be, again, very healing. Maybe you didn't get you're a weirdo, okay? Maybe you didn't get enough love from your parents, enough love from your siblings, enough attention, enough whatever the case may be. Or having to always hold yourself back, to hold your weird in, to hold your love in, because it was always too much for people. People always told you you were too loud, you're doing too much, you love too hard, you're too sensitive, any of the case. And you have too much passion, you have too much sadness, you have too much grief, you have too much darkness, you have too much light. Always something, always something. So to have this person just accept you as you are is going to heal you. And heal them. Because again, you guys are mirrors, so you can relate to that. And I feel like in relationships, you always see demonstration of conflict, of struggle, of strife. Even if there's romantic dates, and even if there's cute pictures on Instagram, the love you've seen up close was always like lacking communication, or lacking authenticity, or something was always missing. So for you to have a relationship where you feel comforted and you feel at peace is like something you've never experienced, something you've never witnessed. We just had 3737 on the recording time. I feel like the love you have, people are going to be so jealous of it because it's something that's not really been demonstrated in the physical world, and you have it, and it's going to disrupt the usual. Anyone who knows you is going to be like, oh, I want a relationship like their relationship. I want a marriage like that marriage. That's not something you see often. All right, a few more cards and then we are done. I want to, this is the Burning Heart Love Oracle. Okay, I'm obsessed with it. I just got it. And the messages are just top tier. Okay, okay, we'll do those last because they're so good. So the tea leaves is next. Before the end of the year, pile 3, what's going down in the DMs? We have Vine, seek out information that will help you, which goes back to that help energy, which goes up back to that friend energy, and just staying aware of like, oh, I will go with you to run that errand. I will go do that thing. Or even this video could be helpful. It says, elephant, a long journey, either physical or mental, will leave you wiser at the end. This relationship is going to be a long journey, okay? This is not a temporary situation. This is not a short-term thing. And it'll leave you wiser at the end, which goes back to teaching you how to love yourself, teaching you how to accept the love that is handed to you. Because in the past, you wouldn't accept loves that weren't enough. But now, maybe you're not so good at accepting good things. So it's going to teach you some good things. We have March. This person could be a Pisces. You could be a Pisces or an Aries. This also gives me back to that depressed energy, that sadness, being wilted because it hasn't been watered, and you're finally going to be watered with a sense of love. We got 2 cards. We have someone new is entering your life, which is your true love. And we also have V, victory in some endeavor. I feel like their name could also start with a V. Victor, Verlin, Victoria, Vasha, Vada. Vida means life in Spanish. We have hammock, taking a vacation physically or mentally. Maybe you're going on a trip with your friends, or maybe you meet them on vacation. Maybe you meet them at the airport. Some super cute, meet cute, okay? But also when you're in a hammock, you're relaxed, you're at peace. So I feel like that's you. Because you're not watching the pot boil. You're just at peace, and things are going to happen when they happen. And then you like hear something. Hey, cutie, what you doing here? Who, me? Oh, me? Let me give you my number. I don't know. Okay, now. Oh, I never pulled tarot. Let's do that. I'm doing things so out of order. But maybe that's how you feel with your love life. You feel like things have been so out of order. But nevertheless, here they are. Pile 3. We have awakening, major arcana vibes. Awakening means accepting all of who we are. So you finally accept yourself, you're willing to be seen in a relationship, and you're kind of awakening to the idea of a relationship, which goes back to that energy I was talking about. And again, I mentioned you're super protected in this connection, so don't feel insecure, don't feel like you have to hide anything about yourself, or don't feel like you got to do any of the typical routines that people do within relationships. I got to wait 3 days to call them, I got to tell them if they want to date me, they got to call me a week before and a day ahead and blah, blah, blah. It's okay to be like, pick me up right now, see me right now. Like, it's okay to move in different ways that are unfamiliar to what you've seen or what you've learned. And it's because this connection is unfamiliar. It's not like anything anyone's ever seen. So they can't really give you rules and restrictions and regulations and advice on it. Okay, just do what feels comfortable to you. Do what makes you feel at peace. If you're like, oh, I don't understand what they said there, I need some clarification, like, go ahead, get that clarification. We have Knight of Voices, which is the Knight of Swords. That's basically being brave enough to take action, having your action matching your words. So if you're like, I'm ready to date, I'm ready to be in a relationship, put yourself in those positions to do just that. If someone's like, oh, I think you're really interesting, can I get your number? Are you going to talk the talk, or are you going to walk the walk too? We have many cards that came out, but this card right here, I knew when it to come out, so we're going to take it. It's the 6 of Pentacles, which goes back to that mirror energy. Okay, that mirror energy. This is basically generosity. Giving is receiving, and we have receiving on this card also. Receiving the love that you give. Someone is going to match your passion. And remember, we did have passion right here. Pile 3. What is coming before the end of the year? Why is all y'all on the floor? Why? Maybe y'all gonna be doing something tussling on the floor. Okay, we have 8 of Wands, so this connection is going to come in super fast. Mind you, depending on when you're watching this, the end of the year for me is 2 months away. We have November and we have December. So before the end of the year, within the next 2 months, this person is going to come in with momentum, with speed, with quickness, and is like, I want my actions to match my words. I like you. What are we going to do about it? What are you going to let me do about it? Let me take you out. Let me do this. Let me do that. Not in 2 weeks from now. Not when you check your schedule. I want to go now. I want to take action now. Like, it's very intelligent moves, smart moves. They know, they have an end game in mind, which I mentioned with marriage or like some long-term connection. And then we have 4 of Voices, which is the 4 of Swords, which goes back to that comfort, that peace mentality, feeling safe here. Okay, 4 of Voices is about awareness, contemplation, meditation. And look, they're romantic. Look at the rose petals laid out. They're like, let me run you a hot bath. Like, things you would do for yourself, things you're willing to do for this person, they're willing to do the same thing. They want that same love mirrored back to them. It's, again, giving Venus and Pisces energy. Think 𝚙𝚊𝚅, right? Because we both have a Venus and Pisces. We're both Aquariuses, okay? And I do write love songs to my future person. So like, you see the similarity there? Maybe they write you love songs. They're trying to sing you a song or something. Like, I don't know. But you feel very at peace here, very comfortable here. Very like, I trust this connection because I feel protected here and because this is divinely guided. You heard him say I'm finished? That's spirit. They're like, I'm finished. We sprinkled everything. We put all the little seasonings. We put the little parsley. We put the little finishing touch. Like, you could take the dish now. You could deliver it. The meal is ready. Okay, so now the good oracle. It's also like an article. Maybe you'll put your marriage announcement in the paper. Or I feel like it's an article, you know, you write the article and then you have a rough draft and then you write it for real and then you give it to your editor and then they make their notes and then they fix it. You fix it and then it's ready to be published. So like that's the vibe that's coming into play. Okay. For pile 3, what is this person? Okay, wait. Before the end of the year, what is this person trying to say? This love connection. What do they want pile 3 to know? What is the universe trying to formulate? You know, any of those sorts. It says, I sabotaged our connection because it was too intense, which goes back to that energy that you are familiar with them, you know them, because how you could sabotage something that hasn't happened yet, you know? And because it was too intense, you know what I mean? That tsunami, that's a lot of intensity. Even though they matched that same love, they were kind of scared to pour it out just yet. But I feel like they've been working on themselves. They definitely matured from when you first met them. We have, they will never compare to you. I feel like just how you've been, you know, dating, or you've been isolated on the sidelines because you're like, I'm not going to waste my time with dating. But some people, because you got that Scorpio energy, that transformation energy, you can learn the lessons on your own. But some people need to be in circumstances and have hands-on experiences to recognize the lessons, you know, where it's like, oh, I'm never going to accept that again. I'm never going to be in that position again. So I feel like they've been in connections or been on dates and they're like, nah, I don't want this. This is not them. They will never compare to you. Like, oh my God, stop falling on the floor. We have, I can't go another day without you, which is why they are going to come forth within the next 60 days. Again, I'm recording this in November. Depending on when you watch this, maybe you're watching this in March. Like the video, like the card that came out. And obviously before the end of the year, that seems like such a long time. But before the end of the year, okay? It says, I really do care even though I don't show it. So again, that goes back to that energy when they first met you. Maybe you were really like, this could be something, and they were holding back. Because again, they're a volcano and they're used to burning people. So they're like, I don't even know how to put this all out there. And then we have the distance between us kills me. Yeah. Do I want one more? That was 5. Do I want 6? We'll do 6. Okay. And then we have, you deserve better than me. You deserve better than me. Not what you want, but I got what you need. Something, something, something. You know that song, right? I'll list it. Yeah. So I feel like they thought they weren't good enough for you. So they stopped the connection because they were like, wow, they have all this love to give and I'm just little old me. But the distance is killing them. They think about you all the time and they are going to appear. They're going to come correct this time. Admit their feelings this time. Pile 3, before the end of the year, advice, or you know, what? Pile 3, too many cards. Before the end of the year, pile 3. The floor, again. We have, I forgive myself for being so hard on myself for all that pressure. I am more than enough, which is you. You put your pressure on yourself to fit into relationships or to operate in a relationship how you see other people, and that never worked for you. You could be like neurodivergent, or you know, your weirdo light just shines so bright and you're just like, these normal connections are not for me. And you were like really hard on yourself because you're like, how does love come so easily to other people? And for me, it's so hard. It's because you're so authentic, okay? So yeah, forgive yourself for all that was, which is this awakening. Release all the judgment, because someone's coming in loving you exactly who, as you are. Someone who thought you deserve better than them. Someone who thinks that no one will ever compare to you. So they like you're different. They like you're weird, and they like the way you stand out. So own that, love that, and don't feel insecure about that. But this is what I have for you. Before the end of the year, pile 3, a love connection is coming in. So if you enjoyed this reading and it resonated with you, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, all of that good things. And until next time, my blooming beauty. Ta-ta. Hello, pile 4, too hot to ignore. Okay, this is what's gonna happen before the end of the year. Okay, pile 4, where was I? Not even started yet, perfect. Pile 4, you reformed whore. Pile 4, baddest bitch than before. I was giving transformation energy, okay? But nevertheless, maybe you were also drawn to pile 2. Nevertheless, okay, let's jump right into it. Pile 4, before the end of the year. Hold on. Okay. Maybe you just need to stop and take a breath of fresh air. All right, pile 4. Before the end of the year, what is going down for pile 4? Too many cards. Pile 4, we had 3:11 on the recording time. Before the end of the year, too many cards. Before, okay. We have number 8. It says shaman spiral, awareness, practice, connection. See, that was that breath of fresh air, that meditative moment to like get your awareness, to recognize where you are. Maybe you've been practicing meditation, practicing connecting to your body or to your environment. Pile 4, before the end of the year. Shaman spiral. Maybe you've also been connecting with I was gonna say your intuition. And then we have number 25, dream, manifestation, plan B. And we also have number 32, the gatekeeper, power, abundance. So on the board we have number 8, number 7, and number 5. Maybe you've been trying to manifest better finances. That's gonna come before the end of the year. I said you've been connecting with your intuition, connecting with, because shaman reminds me of like, you know, intuition, spiritual gifts, magic. And with manifestation, I feel like, and dreams, you've been trying to manifest a certain dream. You've been connecting more with the spiritual realm. Okay. I can't sit this way. I'm uncomfortable. See, that's you. That's like when I said reformed whore, okay? You are like repositioning, you're refocusing, you're rewriting your plans, you are figuring out what's a dream and what could be reality, what you could put power into to really make it something. When I said dream, it made me think of a song, more than just a dream, boom, 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 more than just a dream. I'll have to think. Not right now. Okay. With the other piles, I've been pretty focused. And with your pile, I'm kind of like, where are we? What's the next move? What are we doing here? I feel like that's you. You have a lot of dreams and you're like, okay, which ones can become a reality and which ones are just like occupying the dream space or have to be put on the shelf for later? Like, which ones can I really connect to and which ones are out of my control? Yeah. Pile 4, before the end of the year. have the unseen. Too much is hidden from you. Number 4. Maybe you've been having a lot of dreams lately and you know that your mind has been active, but when you wake up, you can't remember what's going on. And with too much is hidden from you, it's also giving me the energy that your manifestations, a lot of them, you think they're not being fulfilled, but the universe has so many like behind the scene factors going on that they're trying to like make it a surprise. They're trying to keep it hidden from you. It's giving me the energy like everyone forgot your birthday and is like purposefully not texting you, and then you get to like your house or you get to some destination and everyone's like, surprise! And you're like, you made me feel like shit because I thought you guys forgot all day. But when you get there and you see how much love is in the room and waiting for you, you're just like, I forgive you, little shits. Oh, we have dreams again. It says vivid dreaming, dream message, dream teaching, number 23. And then we had number 32, 23, 32. So that's like a mirror of the other one. But look, dream. So I feel like a dream of yours is definitely going to come true before the end of the year. But I feel like you have many dreams. So I'll do my best to figure out which one it is, but I'm not really sure. And then we have 𝚘𝚊𝚏𝚎. This also came out for pile 2, which is the pile I told you to watch. That's funny. It says number 45, wonder voyage, crossing deep waters, pilgrimage, journey of the soul. Wonder voyage. Yeah, I feel like you're on a journey where you're just like wondering what would be the outcome of this, wondering what would be the outcome of that. So maybe you don't really have a set plan. Like, I was gonna say, like, say you're like, oh, I always wanted to have my picture on a shirt. You don't really have a set plan to design it and to upload it and to figure out what fabric of cotton you want and what color you want the shirt on and print the shirt out. Like, you don't have that type of plan. You're kind of on a wonder voyage where it's more like still like a daydream, where you're just like, the idea of having a fashion line would be cool. The idea of doing this would be cool, but you're not really making plans to execute them per se. A lot is still in the dream state for you. It's like this energy where you're just sitting and thinking and daydreaming, like, that would be cool if this happened, or that would be cool if that happened. You're trying your best to make more of a connection, have more of awareness of what you can really create in reality. Let me look at my little cheat sheet. You know, I have my little layout. That's what you need. You need to have a layout, an idea of how you want things to go. Oh, pile 4 before the end of the year. We have flow, number 43. A fortune try to come out, which goes back to that abundance energy, but we know I don't take cards that are too many. And with flow and having this like color over her eyes, it's giving me the energy of camouflage. So it's like you've been keeping your dreams hidden. So maybe if you vocalize some of what you want to accomplish, there's other people out there that can help you reach your goal. Don't gatekeep, which goes back to this energy. Don't gatekeep your ideas of abundance. Maybe you don't even want to put it out there because you're like, what if somebody steals my idea? This is what I heard, all right? Say you put a song out and somebody steals that song and doesn't give you commission or doesn't give you royalties or doesn't ask permission for you to use that song. Let them use that song. First of all, that's like the highest compliment if Taylor Swift came and stole your lyrics or stole your song. Let that song get buzz. Let that song get on the Billboard Top 100, all of that. Let it build up abundance, and then you sue so that you can get money off the royalties, you can get monies off what they owe you, you can get monies off song credits, you know, all of that type of stuff. Yeah, so don't keep Don't keep your ideas hidden. And then we have number 33, which is water. Water and flow go together. So the water card, Mama Kocha, what it says in the book is basically that water comes in all forms. Water could be water. It could be fresh water from the river. It could be from salt water from the ocean. It could be ice cubes. It could be snow. It can be so many things, so many forms. So I feel like you have a dream. Your ideas come in so many forms. You're like, I want to be a fashion designer, and I want to be an artist, and I want to be a musician, and I want to be this, and I want to be that, which is why you get so distracted and you don't really know how to plan to be a multifaceted human. But it says to just go with the flow. Maybe one day you're writing a song. Maybe the next day you're designing a shirt. Maybe the next day, you know, you don't have to try to make your artistry so concrete or like fit a label or a certain dynamic. You can just be you and your expressive creativity and just, oh, and then with too much is hidden from you, I said camouflage and that you were hiding stuff. So maybe it's not only spirit hiding your manifestations from you, it's you hiding yourself from you, because it says the unseen. So like you don't show a lot of your creativity or your artistry or the things you want to put out there. And it's kind of like the way you manifest your ideas into reality is by expressing yourself, is by showing yourself in all different forms. And if people can't label you, that's just part of your power. Being in a box that is indescribable. You're a weirdo. What do you expect? You can't have some basic label on you. And then we have Yuki Onna, which is snow woman. And we said water comes in snow. It says stillness, which goes back to that taking a moment. Meditation really helps still your thoughts so you can not be so distracted by how many tabs are open. You really honing in on a focus. Because also, even though I said you could write a song one day and design a shirt the next day and, you know, draw a picture the next day, that is good if you were a content creator, you know? You could have a different something posted every day. But long ago I learned, because I really wanted to be a musician, a songwriter, but I really wanted to do spirituality and tarot cards. And I was like, oh, I'll write a song one day and I'll study tarot the next day. But honestly, that divides your time. And you're under the impression that you have to do a little bit of everything every day or you'll lose parts of yourself. But it's actually better to focus on one manifestation at a time. Focus on connecting to one outlet and really build that up. And then when you have more of a footing in that, then you can go to something else. Because dividing my time between music and spirituality actually had me disconnected from the growth that I could really pour into one avenue. And obviously some things connect with each other. Say you want to be a fashion designer, you want to do your artistry, your art, you can create the patterns that go on the clothes that you create or something like that. Or you're designing the graphics that are going on the shirt. So, you know, those go hand in hand. But when it comes to really learning a craft, honing in on a craft, it's kind of like, do you want to set up your marketplace for your clothes first? Or do you want to focus on writing music and learning the piano first? Like, focus on one manifestation at a time is the energy I'm getting. Being able to have a sense of stillness because you have this connection with one focus. Maybe you have ADHD. And doing too much at once, even though you're capable, is actually very distracting. So it's easier to just flow in one avenue than multiple entities at once. And I'm not saying this will never come true. I'm not saying this is a dream you have to put on the shelf. You know, you can still have little songs you write down in a notebook. You're just not actively pursuing that one. Or give yourself 3 months, 6 months, a year, and you're like, I'm gonna pour all my focus into this one avenue and see how far I can get, and then I could shift my direction to something else. Okay, so I have this new deck. It's called the Prism Oracle. This one right here. It is so pretty, and it's like unlike any other deck I have. So we're gonna tap into this one now. For pile 4, before the end of the year, what is coming? And I'm hungry right now. I feel like you're hungry. You're hungry for abundance, or you're hungry for how far you can get in this field. And you know, you believe in yourself, and you believe in your passions, and you know you can really make your dreams come true and have like people be affected by your vision in a positive light. And that's all amazing motivation to keep. But it's like, don't be distracted by too much at once. We have isolation, which brings me back to your ideas. Isolate your ideas. Focus on one thing right now. This little dot. Have your eye on the ball, on one ball. It gave me the idea of playing multiple sports at once. Like, you can't be in the outfield ready to catch the pitch while you're worried about swinging the tennis ball, while you're making sure the field is clear to catch the football. Like, it's too much going on. And then you're distracted. Then you get on the tennis field and you're like, oh, I'm playing golf, but that ball doesn't bounce. I got confused for a second because, you know, like, imagine playing basketball with a football and you're running with the basketball and someone's like, you're traveling, and you're like, oh, I thought I was in my football game and we're allowed to do this. I got confused for a second. Like, just isolate your focus to really connect with one thing right now. And eventually this dot will spiral into and expand into, you know, your other dreams. Pile 4. And sorry if this reading feels all over the place. Again, I felt like the other 3 piles are very much focused and very much like direct. And you, because of how your mind works, is very much, I have this tab open here, but I want to talk about this, but we're going to do this, but we're going to do that. So it's a lot of like scattered brain energy. And you think you're spreading your love around. You're giving a little bit of attention to everybody. So it's kind of like, say you have like 9 kids or 12 pets, and you're like, oh, well, I'm gonna just spend 10 minutes here and 10 minutes there and 10 minutes there. All you're doing is spreading your energy around so that you think, oh, I did a good job. Everyone got a little piece of me. But it's more like everyone got a taste of you, but nobody actually got a full meal. Nobody actually got to quench their thirst when it comes to hanging out with you. Everyone just all agrees it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough time. So we have ideation, which also came out in pile something. I don't remember. But yeah, you have millions of ideas. We know this. You have 1,000,000 ideas, 1,000,000 tabs open, 1,000,000 dreams, 1,000,000 things you want to manifest. But it's the time to isolate on one. Focus on one thing. We have rejection. You feel like focusing on one thing means you're rejecting the other things. That's not what that means at all. We just had 2011 on the recording time. By you isolating your focus to one avenue, that does not mean you're rejecting your other talents, your other skills, and your other dreams. That just means you're giving this one thing, you're practicing your awareness on this one thing to really help it grow, to really help it flourish, to really give it the time and attention that's necessary. You know why having multiple kids is hard, okay? Because you have to give your attention to different things, and each different thing requires something different out of you. You know why it's hard to have siblings? Because some siblings are loved more than the other. So yeah, some siblings feel neglected because they exist in a world where they don't get the same attention and love that they know they deserve. So imagine that for your ideas. Don't even bring something into fruition if you can't give it your all in these moments. Focus on one child at a time, okay? Don't even birth the other children until you've given your baby the necessary nourishment, nutrition needed for it to grow and develop. So you're not rejecting the idea of having kids in the future, okay? And obviously their kids are your little babies or your little creations I'm talking about. You're not rejecting the idea that this person will ever have a sibling. Or you're not rejecting the idea that one day down the road you can have a pet or you can have a dog that goes along with the other creatures you keep. It's just right now you only have enough attention and focus to pour everything into this one thing. So isolate that one idea that you know you can really flourish and find abundance for now, and give it all you got. And we have love, which hasn't come out for any other group. Neither has rejection or isolation. But anyway, yeah, it's not for lack of love in yourself or in your capabilities. It's just that you need to love one thing so much that you can give it everything you want without feeling bad for the other ideas. And we have anxiety, which makes sense. You're anxious about focusing on one thing. I was like that too. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to focus on my time on spirituality. I'm going to completely neglect music. I'm never going to have time for it. I still had downtime. I still was able to play my guitar. I still had ideas that came out. I don't songwrite as much as I used to because my focus has shifted, but the talent didn't evaporate. The skill didn't disappear. It's still active and available if I want to tap into it. It's just not my audience right now. It's not my focus, you know? Grow your audience for them to fall in love with you and this capability. And then you can be like, oh, I'm also good at this, and I'm also good at that, and I'm also good at this. Think about celebrities. They are honing their craft in acting. And once they get their acting foot in the door, they're like, by the way, did you know I can sing? And that's why you're like, all these singers, I mean, all these celebrities, all these actors be popping out with CDs and stuff like that. And you're like, where did you come from? I didn't even know you could sing. And it's just like, oh, another skill I had, you know, hidden, unseen talent. And it's not that you're not able to do those things. It's just like, that's not your focus right now. It's also giving me the energy of like, say you got hired to work at Fashion Week or something. And they're like, oh, you're a designer, great. But it's giving me the energy of like, oh, you know how to sew, that's amazing. But do you also know how to design fabric? And you're like, actually, yeah, I'm actually an artist too. Or you go in the recording studio and they're like, oh, our guitarist called out. I know you're a singer. And you're like, actually, I could fill in because I also know how to play the guitar. Like, just because these other skills you have aren't on a pedestal and aren't demonstrated out loud doesn't mean they don't exist. Doesn't mean they won't have their chance to shine. Their time is just not right now. It's funny because the other groups were very much like, this is something coming to you, something you have to do more of. And I feel like you have to do less of. You have to hone in a little bit, where it's like, when you imagine your life in the next year, okay, something short term, not in 10 years. In 10 years, you're like, I want to have an album, and I want to have a fashion line, and I want to be the next Diddy, all right? What fashion line did Diddy have? I don't know. Let's say 𝚘𝚐𝚐. She had baby fat fashion line, but she was also on a reality show, and I think she was a model. Like, I don't know. You know, you want to be a multi-talented legacy. And I completely get that. And that's an amazing dream to have. But spirit is kind of like, what do you want more right now? So that we can pour all of our attention into bringing that to light for you. Pile 4. Before the end of the year, what is coming for pile 4? It's also giving me the energy of, say a company came to you with a contract and they're like, oh, I love that you know, you're a star and you can do all of these things, but for our channel or for the available position we have, we need someone who can do blank. And you're typically the type of person that's like, no, I don't want to do just one thing. I want to do all of these things. And the company's like, great, we could get to there in a few years, but this year we only need you to do this thing. And maybe in the past you would have rejected that idea where it's like, no, they got to take me as I am or I'm going to go. But after this video, you're kind of like, okay, let me not be too quick to reject abundance or the chance at power because of how I want things to unfold. There's always different ways to get to the end game, and maybe this is the way to do it. Because I don't know why I'm stuck on Diddy, but like Diddy and Biggie didn't even have the idea of being a rapper. This was just a skill he was good at. And other people, you know, found faith in him. And he was like, okay, I could give up selling drugs and really focus on this lifestyle. I'm thinking of the Notorious B.I.G. movie. So, or even Wu-Tang Clan. The Wu-Tang show series is on Hulu. And they were all like, okay, I can give up this lifestyle or this familiar to focus intently on rapping. Or even RZA was like, give me 5 years of your life dedicated only to rapping and watch what I can do for you. So it's kind of like, I see a contract appearing where someone's like, just focus on this and watch how much I can build your brand and your business. And after this time you dedicated to this, you can focus on that other stuff again. Pile 4, before the end of the year. We have the initiation. It says, rite of passage, you're going somewhere sacred. Which brings me back to this card. So it's like you're coming out of this darkness and you're going into the light. You're coming out of being hidden and you're going into the light. The initiation. That's also making me think of like a sorority. Because you know, in a sorority or a fraternity, you have to kind of let your ego go because they be hazing the fuck out of you. I could never do it. But you kind of have to let your expectations of what you want to be go and really follow the lead of somebody else. And that goes back to that contract energy I'm feeling, where it's like, let me help you take the lead in your life for this one dream. And give me, what number is on this? 4. Give me 4 to 5 years to help this flourish. It's also giving me this K-drama I just seen where she worked at a brand, a cosmetic brand. She was a marketer for that brand, and she was so focused on that brand, and that brand felt like her baby. And when she saw people out using the cosmetics of this line, she felt so inspired and so this is mine. Like, you know, when you work at a job, say you worked at, I don't know, say you worked at Apple, and when you see people with the iPhone, you're like, oh, I work there. Like, I feel like, you know, that's my baby, even if that's not your company. In the K-drama, she went to the European market. So like in Korea, their cosmetics brands was like the big fish, the top dog, the top sales. And in the European industry, they were like a small fish in a big pond. It was a whole different outlook, and something that was her sole focused brand, she had to now focus that attention on different things, different avenues, different companies. So where am I going with this? Basically, for you, it's the opposite. You've been so focused on all these different brands, all these multi-labels, all these different things you could do. And now it's time to focus on your brand, on your individual idea, and really help that grow. And she was to be in the European market for 5 years because you have to build the foundation. Then you have to wait for the startup to get to a smooth, copacetic pace. Like there's many steps, and you're kind of like, 5 years to be away from my dream, my other dreams, that's way too long. But like, once you have this solidified, then you can expand into other territories, okay? So like, even think about YouTube people. Some people make vlogs all the time. Or Bretman Rock, he was all about like beauty and fashion and stuff like that. And then he was able to expand into different territories and has a commercial and this and that. Or like, I love me some My Life is Ava, okay? Ava Gutowski. And it's kind of like she started on YouTube making certain videos, but then she was able to transition into being a DJ and having Marisol and having a music expression, something she always wanted to do. So it's not that that vision died down or anything like that. It's just like there was other things to focus on to grow your attention and your brand and your audience in this one avenue before being able to develop more later. Okay. Pile 4 before the end of the year. What is going down? We have Heart's Desires. The angels are supporting, guiding, and protecting you as your dreams become a reality. That's more dream energy. So we have dreams popping up 3 times now. And it's not that all your dreams won't manifest. It's not that all your dreams can't come true. It's just that you have to focus your attention in a solitary avenue for right now. Let's pull some tarot. We'll use this deck. This is the Kawaii Tarot. Maybe you have a dream to go to Japan, but you don't even have a passport. So it's like, don't focus on what you're going to do when you get to Japan and how it's going to be amazing and you're going to do this and explore this and eat here and all this stuff. It's like, start with the beginning plans. Get the paperwork, get your birth certificate, go get the photo, get things moving that are tangible now. Pile 4 before the end of the year. We have the sun, okay. Leo energy, standing in the light, standing in the spotlight, expression, creation, warmth, positivity, success, joy. The thing that makes you feel like a kid inside, the thing you've been doing since you were a kid, that's the thing you should focus on first. And we have the Lovers, which is Gemini energy, communication, versatility. The Lovers card is also about harmony, trust, love, and choices. So obviously it's your choice. You don't have to listen to me. You could water a little bit of a bunch of seeds all at once and have everything grow together at one time. Or you can focus all of your attention on making one thing a tree, and then you can come back and, you know, plant the rest of the village. It's also making me think of a garden in the sense that, say you have a garden and you're trying to plant a bunch of things at once, and you're like, I have the carrots over here and the eggplants over here and the cucumbers over here. But it's not that you can use the same soil and the same method and the same amount of water for each vegetable. Some things need to have more sunlight. Some things need special soil. Some things need different attentions. And if it was something that you could formulate, that it didn't matter what you applied to it, the same formula worked, then your idea would work to water a little bit each at the same time. But because everything requires a different level of attention and a different focus, which goes back to that kid energy. Yeah, you have 3 daughters. They're all girls. Cool. But they all have different personalities. They all require different attention. They all have different nutrition plans. Maybe one's vegetarian. Maybe one only eats meat. Maybe one is a fruitarian. Like, they all require different focuses and different attention to detail. And you studying each one just divides your attention when you can just focus everything on, isolate that one, and then, you know. Anyway, we have 4 of Cups. 4 of Cups is about missing out on the wonderful things in front of you. It's about boredom, dissatisfaction with life, and it's about being so focused on what you want to focus on that you don't even see the possibility of what's being handed to you, which goes back to that energy of the contract. You're being so focused on your 3 dreams that aren't allowed to be manifested right now, that you don't even see the potential of abundance coming in over here because you're so focused over there. We have the 7 of Cups, which of course that came out. 7 of Cups is about having options. It's about figuring out which dream is real and making that a reality. So you have a focus on love, you have a focus on money, you have a focus on wealth, you have a focus on your home life, you have a focus on your family, you have a focus here. So many things calling for your attention. But just because you have options doesn't mean you have to focus on every option. Think of your ideas as relationships, okay? Are you gonna flirt with everyone available and you see which one clicks, or are you gonna really hone your attention to dating one person at a time so you can really get to know them properly? And the way you answer that question is the way this is gonna roll out. And then lastly, we have Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles is about success through hard work. And Eight of Pentacles also represents perfectionism and mastery. So it's kind of like master one thing at a time. You can't master multiple fields at once. You can eventually, but not all in one sitting, okay? You go to school and instead of being a double major, just focus on one thing. Get your degree in this and then get your master's in law. And then you could go back to school and do the same thing all over again in a different field. Your idea, your dreams in your head, the perfect outcome would be, again, to do everything at once. But that's not the reality of the situation. And Spirit wants to know which one you really crave right now so they can help you grow that specific one. Okay, let's see which one you should focus on right now. What is the first manifestation that should come to light for pile 4? What should be their focus? We have Neptune, which is dreams again. It says spirituality, magic, memories, which goes back to that, what have you been doing since you were a kid? What do you have memories of? It says imagination, meditation. I did mention meditation. Escapism, fantasies, confusion. Yeah, don't feel like you're sacrificing yourself or your dreams by only doing one thing right now. Spirituality could be the move for some of you. Focus on your spirituality. And the things you learn from this will help propel you in other fields. Like, I always wrote music and songs about love, but after learning spirituality and really having this encompass my being, now I write songs about aliens and out-of-world things, and like, my lyrics are different and my point of view's changed. So my lyrics have changed. So all of this is the growth for your future. I didn't pull this deck for anybody else, but what is their craft should they focus on first? What manifestation, what dream should they bring to fruition first? We have God, which goes back to that spirituality energy for me. Benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others. And the shadow aspect is despotism. I'll put the definition because who even knows what that is. And cruelty, using power to control people. Okay, so I feel like the gift you should focus on first has to do with people. Has to do with helping people, which goes back to spirituality. Spirituality definitely helps people. Okay, anyway. The tea bag and one more card and we're done. Actually, I didn't pull this deck for anyone else either, but it's calling my name. What should they focus on first? What should they bring into fruition first? Any advice on that? We have get over your shit, pull your shit together, help people, give back, do good shit for humanity, which is what I just said. Spirituality helps people. God helps people. Do something for the betterment of humanity. And then we have Green Tara, which not this exact card, but Green Tara did also come out for pile 2. I've been mentioning pile 2 this whole time. It says, the Buddha of enlightened action. My soul informs my every step. I do what my heart compels me to do. Your soul will follow your intuition when it comes to choosing which path you should go down first. your heart compels you to do, what you've been loving since you were a child, what has always been ingrained in your brain, in your livelihood. That's what you should focus on first. We have lightning, control your anger or you will be sorry, which goes back to that contract energy for me. Someone's like, oh, we're willing to provide you this, and you're getting angry because they want you to choose one thing, and you're like, I won't be put in a box, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, bruh, this opportunity is amazing. Just go forth in the direction that's being provided for you. The opportunity is here, so take it. I'm not saying sell your soul for a contract and sell all your rights away or anything like that, but it's kind of like, don't bite the hand that feeds you either. Some of you could be an Aquarius too. You're so focused on doing things your way, doing things the weird way, you're an alien, I'm isolated, no one understands me. But it's kind of like, let these people help make your weird digestible to other people. Let people help build your brand. And it's not that they're trying to control your creative aspect, your creative outlook, your creative expression. They're just trying to help you hone your power, I feel. And then we have desk, pay attention to your work. This goes back to 8 of Pentacles, the energy for me, which is hard work. Focusing on your craft. We have Valley, deep personal strength and peace that assure success. It reminds me of through the dark and the valley in the shadow of death. We have man, dealing our relationships with a man. For some of you, it's like, oh, this man is trying to tell me what to do. And it's like, are they good at their business? Do they have records of helping people grow their audience and their numbers? Like, don't think the man is trying to keep you down or something like that. Just, oh, see, table, hard work ahead. A lot of work. Pay attention to your work, hard work ahead. 8 of Pentacles is about your work. 8 of Pentacles is about putting your head down and focusing on your work and toiling away. Even if it's for 5 years. 5 years is not as long as it sounds. 5 years is a college experience. Like, you know, just get it done. We have Mule. Someone is extremely stubborn and unwilling to change. That's giving me you energy. Don't be the mule, okay? Be willing to change. And then advice for pile 4 about what's going down before the end of the year. And then I just got this vision of, okay, you could be hard-headed and you could be stubborn and you could do things your way and you could be selling your clothes in front of the Walmart. Like, who wants to buy my t-shirt? Who wants to buy my graphic design? And you can struggle your way to the top by pouring a little bit into every avenue. Or you can do what's best for your business, what's best for your brand, and build one thing at a time and isolate your focus to really give it all you got. Get to a certain foundation where you can say you have something. You can spend 5 years struggling by yourself, or you can let someone help you get to somewhere that's an accomplishment, some type of success. And from there, you have way better footing to dip your toe into other avenues. It says, I am open to give, I am open to receive. You're open to receive help from other people, and you're open to give your creativity in a new way. But this is what I have for you, pile 4. Before the end of the year, really focus on one thing to do at a time and give it all you got in that, in like the energy department, because you can be doing hard work by yourself, or you could be playing smarter, not harder, and have your work flourish with the help of others. It could be a community project. You could be the leader of that project, but it could be a community avenue, execution. It doesn't all have to fall on you. It doesn't only have to be your way. There's other ways to get there, and Spirit is trying to bring in one of your dreams before the end of the year. So this is what I have for you, pile 4. Thank you so much for watching. If it resonated, be sure to comment down below. Let me know, like, share, subscribe, all of those good things. And I'll see you next time. Bye.